Hello everyone, how's it going? Hey, my name's Nomura. I am an LPL caster. By the way, I'm just saying this just because YouTube as well. If you're on Twitch, you probably know me. So I am an LPL caster. You might have seen some of my videos around YouTube and stuff. And I am going to be VOD reviewing a few of these Worlds games after the streams have ended for the day. So yesterday I did BLG versus HLE. I think that was really fun. We discovered a lot of stuff there. I'm quickly going to get myself a drink from the other room. I just wanted to make sure I was live here. Just so you all can know that I'm here. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go do that, and we'll get into Top Esports versus T1, where we do a coroner's report on what the hell happened to Top Esports and kind of why I saw it coming as well, but also celebrate what T1 did as well, because I don't want it to be just one-sided and a bunch of stuff like that. So yeah, so make yourselves comfortable. I'll be back in just a minute, and then we will get to this. I need to get this up. I need to change this away from that because that's the other thing. And here we go. Cool. This is actually showing the draft straight up here, which is a little bit annoying. Do we not get any of the draft? Okay, well, whatever. We can just talk through the draft a little bit here anyway when we get to that. Cool. That is fine. Cool. Right, give me 1 second, folks. And then we'll do this. Alex, I have an offer that you simply cannot refuse. I have a Clash top lane spot open. What, for tonight? When does that start? Oh, look. Maybe, G. Maybe. Okay, 1 second, folks. I'm going to go get myself a drink from the other room. And then we should be good to go. Right. Okay, I have a coffee now. Okay, so let's get into this, shall we? Is there anyone else I need to plug my stream? 1 second, folks. I might have to have some quick social media stuff to do. Okay. You know, this is fine. Cool. All right, let's get into this, folks. Let's get into this and let's have some fun. Let's have some fun talking about how Top Esports had a bit of a nightmare. So let's have a think about this draft first, because as we move into this, one of the things which I talk about a lot is draft, because draft does control a lot of what we think about when it comes to strategic approaches to a game. You learn about what teams kind of want, and also maybe what they could struggle with as well, and a bunch of other stuff like that. You can get yourself some really good advantages through good drafts. I think that's pretty obvious to say. What have I done here? Where's my epic pen gone? Donde está la epic pen? Where are you? Oh, there it is. Cool. Nice. Cool. I lost my epic pen on OBS for a second. Just a second, I can draw. Cool. Nice. That means I can scribble on the screen. Right. Let's get to this then, finally. So, we see... what was the pick order here? What was the pick order? Do we... I would really like to get pick order. Can we get that from anywhere? Do I have to go to the main broadcast for that? Because I do remember it was... No, this might actually be pick order. You know, funnily enough, no, there was Silas on 1-2. I'm pretty sure this was... I'm pretty sure the only change is that this was Silas here, from what I remember. And then Camille was on 3. I think it was Sejuani Silas. I think that was correct. But I do remember it was... Rumble Ivan was locked in pretty early. And then the Tristana was put through as well. So, what is Top Esports trying to do with this kind of draft? Thank you so much for the follow, Sarah. Yeah, thanks for people for supporting the stream while I'm doing this as well. So... Top Esports first picked the Rumble. They banned Vi, which to me is a little bit strange. If you're going for a bit more of a front-to-back kind of heavy tank front line, I do think that Vi can struggle against that, because you can kind of like use your tanks to stop any follow-up coming through. And a bunch of other stuff. We see that Top Esports ban all of the 3 OPs on red side. They don't allow Rumble or no, sorry, Yone, Skana, or Aurora through. We talked about this a lot when it came to the BLG HLE series, because things get very different if you ban Skarner on blue side, or you leave 2 champions open and you get to choose one or the other when you're on blue side, and give the other one over onto red side. Rumble is a decent pick. I mean, Rumble's decent because it's just one of these jack of all trades champions, right? What I really like from T1 here is that they don't opt into a jack of all trades top lane matchup. If this was Doran or I mean, Bin's obviously been doing this, but he's been winning with this a huge amount. You would probably see either you'd probably see Jax. You'd more likely see Jax or Renekton or something like that. Hey, now you see me, good to see. But yeah, I think that it's kind of important just to talk about how T1 are not exactly following what other people have been doing on this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna leave chat box up on the screen just so you can hang out there in the corner, and also that means that YouTube chat can also see when you're talking about stuff. But yeah, so we're not going to talk about as much about draft because we don't have pick order, and that kind of annoys me. But you know, you for top esports you have strong bot lane. I do actually think that Misfortune is a pretty good answer into a Caitlyn. That's been shown. Misfortune, Leona's pretty good against this. Leona's tanky enough that Caitlyn can't immediately burst you out and stop her from engaging. Misfortune can get double ups off wave and use the E to one proc Leona passive, but also slow you into the fight, kind of trap you into the fight. I also don't mind trying Ivan Tristana versus Sejuani Sylas. You're playing against double melee as double ranged with good disengage. I think Tristana's not a bad matchup with Sylas. You get early push and you can definitely get some good value out of that. Right, let's get straight into this then. Let's get into this. So as an overall team, you have good wombo combo from top esports. You have a really tanky Leona with Ivan shields on top of it. Rumble's okay into Camille in a individual matchup. The Camille can definitely take over at some point, but you're expecting the Rumble to do fine there. Your lanes are fine, but you do have double melee synergy on the top side from T1. If they start to get a little bit of a vision advantage, if they get support jungle advantage and they start getting out onto the map a little bit quicker than you, then you do get some issues caused with that. Right, so let's get into this. And let's get straight into the game, shall we? Let's not waste any time with this one. Where did I put my camera? There we go, cool. I should have ran some adverts on Twitch before I did this, shouldn't I? Anyway, well, if you don't want to care about ads, you can either go watch on YouTube or you can watch on with Prime or something like that. You can drop a sub. Okay, so as we get through into this early game, anything interesting about runes? No, not really. Heal cleanse for Guma carrier, but that's fine. They're looking to do kind of more chip trades rather than all-in stuff. They can play defensively with summoners. That makes a lot of sense. Tier 1 probably want to accelerate the game as much as possible. They don't want top esports to just be able to play front to back, push in a side lane, arrive to an objective early, and then use Daisy, Leona, and Ivan shields to be a real pain in the arse. Let's get through this pause. How long is it? It doesn't last that long, I don't think, this one. Okay, cool. Go straight back into it. Okay. As you can see, level 1, pretty good for Tristana. Sylas is not good in early lane. Tristana is, so that's a bonus. And I do actually think the level 1 from Jackie and Mako goes pretty okay, considering that you're against a Caitlyn lane. You know, getting the good double up onto Guma is fine. Leona is tanky enough that you don't mind taking a little bit of your HP. This is where the huge problem comes in, though. This is a huge problem. You have lost XP advantage. You have not managed to poke out with your level 1 Electro Harpoon with Comet and Scorch. So Zeus has demolished this early lane. I don't know what the hell. You know what? Let's just go back and just watch the minimap for this first wave. Because what I assume happens is 369. Wait, what the hell happens to the overlay? Oh, it breaks. Oh, that makes sense. So what happens here? So 369 is, because we don't get the full everything here. You can see that 369 stood by the jungle entrance, making sure that Tien isn't interrupted on his early clear. And you can see there's also a couple of wards down here to protect his start as well. I think that Top is also trying to protect Tien's early start. It means that Rumble is late to the first wave. Zeus immediately pushes, which gives him... He manages to chip down the minions. It means he gets himself an early level 2. 369 hasn't, and you'll notice this here, right? Like, I think he's hit one, maybe Electric Harpoon onto Zeus, but I don't think it's ended up doing that much. Maybe it was traded for a W or something through like that. So Zeus is fine. You can see there's 369 is taking a bit of damage too. It would be really nice to get pro view here, because I'd love to see how this early lane works. I'm sort of trying to figure out from the freaking minimap. But as you can see here, there's a stacked up wave already, because there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 caster minions, which means that, I mean, you can see it. I mean, you can't see the actual XP here. You can see it down in the bottom left corner. But this is a problem. This is a big problem. You are not supposed to lose your level 1 this hard. Zeus is one of the people that really punishes lane very hard. You can see here as well, right afterwards, 369, obviously he's got his E, doesn't have a W. He actually does get hit by the sweet spot of the by the Camille as well. Does he manage to get an even... Yeah, I mean, adaptive defenses aren't even on. He gets them now. And, you know, 369 waits it out until the adaptive defenses go down. Well, he doesn't even have his cooldowns. But this is just really bad for 369 because one of the problems now is what Ivan does is he puts marks down, goes over to the other side of the map, clears all these, gets a smite, and then he goes back up to the marks which have kind of like refreshed themselves. This is a bit of a problem because now Zeus is going to be able to push 369 under turret. He doesn't have something like a flame spitter still because he's still level 1. And that means that Zeus with hookshot can respond very, very quickly and from a very long range. Was the 3-0 expected or a complete surprise to you? It was kind of expected by me because top esports have lost in every elimination match besides one this entire year. Top esports are very, very bad at hang on. How did Owner get in here unseen? There's literally a ward on the outside. Hang on a second. So there's literally a ward here, and Tien still ends up getting caught. Does that not spot the full jungle entrance? Is that just a misplaced ward? So Tien uses his Q over the wall. Owner's there at the right time. How the hell does that ward not spot him? So he ends up getting that mark, but he loses so much HP because Sejuani gets passive on them, and no one's... Look, and this is the other thing, right? I don't think they expect this at all. If you know that Gromp's going to be contested on because there is a ward up here. I used the wrong drawing tool. Good job, me. If you know there's the ward up there, if you look on the minimap, Tristana would have just hung around in topside jungle, and even though Camille is coming down, Tristana would be able to do something. I think Tristana at level 3 is very, very powerful, and you know 369 might be able to drop a little bit of a wave to make sure this happens. But you know, Tien getting Sejuani passive, bursting him out here. Sejuani's passive is very, very high damage. Then yeah, you know, Tien's lost half his HP bar. So he gets the Gromp, but at what cost? So he can't walk into Owner now who, yes, they have a long cooldown on the Q, but what happens if, you know, you walk up and try and, or rather, yeah, you walk up, you try and get vision of the blue buff, and Owner gets auto W, flashes for the second part of the W, and gets a permafrost, and you probably die. You probably die. So I don't know what the hell happened with that ward placement. I have a sneaking suspicion that the ward in topside, this one in river, which is here, I have a sneaking suspicion that didn't actually spot Owner getting into the enemy jungle. So what that means is that Tien loses his flash, he loses a camp on topside, and it means that Owner is ahead in the early game. First clear for Ivan is meant to be very, very fast. It's meant to be very, very fast. And now because Cream overpushes in mid lane because he assumes that Ivan will be fine and he'll walk up into top river, contest top scuttle, that he's now overpushed mid lane. Faker is low HP, but what he has managed to do is, we talked about this in regards to Knight yesterday, because Knights did this very, very well. I think that people really overlook players like Faker and Knight's wave control. I think people underrate Knight in general, but that's a different story and probably for a different VOD review. He's frozen the wave up here. Tristana needs to get this into turret. Tristana does not want these 6 minions just hammering away at a wave and losing him a load of CS. So he ends up getting caught mid-jump because Zeus flashes to confirm the stun. It stops the knockup. Owner doesn't quite get the flash predict. If that flash predict does come through, he gets the kill. I think the flash from Owner is a bit much. I think the fact that you've already forced him out and the wave is already killing mid lane is too much from Owner, but still, Owner really leveraging off his lane as well, and top esports, I don't know what the hell happened with their vision to spot the entrance to that top side jungle entrance, but that obviously failed. Hey Genesis, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate it, thank you. And yeah, and if you're on YouTube as well, I am streaming on both YouTube and Twitch, so I hope you can enjoy that, and this will be on Twitch VODs as well, so not Twitch VODs and YouTube, but you can see that, you know, the early lane from the Tristana now is not really getting that much value into the Sylas. I think that I don't mind this draft from top esports on the whole. I do think that the level 1 from 369 was overly conservative, and he massively disrespected the level 2 coming in from Zeus, takes a really bad trade, and then the response to this topside invade was obviously not what they wanted. I have a feeling that they didn't spot Owner walking in somehow. Owner gets to go towards his bot side camps now, and yeah, he's just really, really happy. Yes, you do get the scuttle on the bot side for Tien, but yeah, Tien is not happy. It's not happy. All right, let's start speeding this up a little bit. We have Grubs coming up in 2 minutes. So often what we'll see now is either a full bot lane reset switching up towards top side to help them get a push in towards Grubs, or you'll see a trade in bot side, which will then unlock supports to do something like that. Either way, you want someone roaming towards topside from your bot lane, if at all possible. Yeah, so this is one of the problems with playing Caitlyn and stuff like MF Leona. They actually stick you into the play really nastily. And they do get, they manage to get summoners off there. Mega probably didn't need to, I don't think he intended to take that portal, but he did anyway. So what the hell happens with this play in jungle? So Tien is already behind. He wants to get the mark down because he can immediately smite. It's not a bad route. Cream actually gets some decent trades back there as well. Still has some very good early damage with press the attack. He jumps in melee range to get the extended, the increased damage onto Faker. But basically what happens is bot lane lose track of Bard, and Bard is a very good roaming champion. I actually they don't show it on the global spectator, but if there are any chimes, if you look on the minimap here, if he just walks up like this and there are any chimes, he will get a brief movement speed increase from picking up those chimes as well, which increases his roam speed, and he'll probably get another cooldown of his E maybe at the very end of this play. Maybe not, actually. It's only level 1. It's a very long cooldown. So yeah, Carrier comes in anyway. He can give a heal over to Faker. He gets one here anyway and just confirms the play. I think if this was a 2v2, I actually think that top esports can stick around, and particularly because Tien is how does he get level 4 off this? Does he get a level up from a minion? Yeah, he was very close to level 4, so we would have got that probably mid-play. He has Brushmaker anyway. He could put that on top of Cream, give him the on-hit damage from that, and that probably would have led to either full retreat from T1 or maybe a kill onto Faker. So there's either of them kind of works out. So that's... yeah. So top esports have really, in the first only 5 minutes in this series, 5 minutes have passed. That's all we've had, and they've already not placed their wards down well enough to protect Tien. They lose track of Ona. Ona gets into the enemy jungle. Things go badly there, and that's after 369 takes up... sorry, pardon, it starts with the level 1 poor trade from 369, who overstays trying to protect his jungler. Then they mistrack Ona heading into their topside jungle. Then, because of that, Cream is overpushed in mid lane. He doesn't respond to top jungle. He would be too late. He's overextended, which means that Faker, Ona, and Zeus can pile into mid lane, force his flash, and potentially make a play there. Obviously, that doesn't work out completely how they wanted, but still very good for what they wanted to do. And then after that, even though bot lane has a winning trade, Guma goes back for a reset, alright, whatever, and Carrier gets to be unlocked on the map because his AD carry is safely walking back to lane. T1 have had mastery over their lanes working together in a whole map sense. Something bad happens bot lane, okay, whatever. Carrier's still on the map. What can you do with another lane which is in a better position? Zeus, I think, with his early trades, has really unlocked a lot of that too. So every lane is contributing to this. Faker's great wave control in the mid lane as well, knowing that his jungler is going into topside jungle. And that he can punish Tristana if Tristana leaves the wave in that point. It just gives T1 so many extra things to bounce back off. Already 5 minutes in, there's a lot to talk about here. However, a lot of this from top esports does come down to poor early laning from 369. That level 1 was very poor, and whatever the hell happened with that response towards topside. Now, grubs are spawning. We do get the reset coming in from Jackie and Mako, who get themselves, you know, a decent back. Misfortune gets to walk across the map pretty well, but even then, Caitlyn's managed to walk up towards topside again. Great ward to actually spot out Tien here as well. I think this was that happened in a replay, so we didn't actually spot that while it was happening. And now, because of all this, despite the fact that you have Tristana and Rumble, which are good early laners, BLG have not won the topside early game. That means 3 grubs go up to a Caitlyn team in Firstborn. Topside kind of paying off towards bot side, even though the early lane from Jackie and Mako was actually pretty good. They burned some summoners on Guma. You see that 369 now is taking decent trades versus Zeus. I don't know what the hell Tien is doing here. I mean, you have ult on Zeus. He uses his adaptive defenses. This Q... I think actually what you need to do here is you need to ult... Oh, wait, when does 369 get his ult? He does cast it pretty much when he can. That sucks. The minion blocks the Q. If the minion doesn't block the Q, I think they get the kill there. The route onto the ult means that Tien can kind of backstep and not get hit by the W for the heal coming in for Zeus. So that's now an ultimate down for 369, his first of the game. Yes, it gets you a bit of control on bot side, but it's still, if you look at on top side now, I mean, you've shown your jungle bot side. Tien gets to push out, not yet. Yeah, Tien goes towards bot side. Guma gets to take a chunk here, use 3 grubs on turret, get to plate here. He has some extra sustain from the Bard shrines as well. So yeah, I mean, T1, very cohesive early game, but top esports, They're panicking now. They are panicking. They have a lot of early power that they would have liked to leverage. They still have double AD carry with decent frontline and Ivan blocking for them later on, but they've given over three grubs. They've given over an early dragon as well. That is a problem. Top Esports would really like to be stacking objectives and playing around dragon timers and stuff like that. So this is a problem. Now, let's just talk about this now, because actually Top Esports have a pretty decent phase of play here. So we can see that the ult and topside from Jackie forces Goomer and Keria back. I think Top Esports maybe are a little bit afraid of Keria roaming about the place, but I think with the wards they just placed in topside with... Oh yeah, so what happens now is that the ult from Jackie Love frees up Mako to move into top jungle, put down a little bit of vision, and then wrap around the back of mid lane. When have they last seen Ona? Well, they know the dragon's gone down. Yeah, so they know that dragon's gone down. So they know he's on bot side. They know he's there. 369 doesn't have ult. He doesn't really... He's trying to clip the wave as much as possible and maybe get a good play. Bone plating... Is that bone plating used up there? So you know that Ona is bot side. And you know because Zeus is crashing in the wave, likely Ona is looking for a dive there with the way that he's playing. Yeah, also Keria is using his own bar skin. Yeah, good call. Missed flash Zenith Blade from Mako is a bit meh. Also means that he does... Oh my god. Oh, does he think he's going to E over the wall? You can E over the wall there, Silas. Oh, hang on. What? Hang on. Does Faker fail his E over the wall? I don't think he lives, even if he does. Maybe he can jump someone back in there. No, he doesn't even use it. Yeah, he uses it there. So, I mean, he gets just kind of blasted. But that's... Is there anything else Faker could have done him? Anything else Faker could have done? Waves crashing in. He gets the bone plating off. He's very low HP. You don't often predict mid dives, to be fair. As a mid laner, you often don't predict mid dives. People just don't do them that often. But that's a really well played one from Top Esports. You have extra shields. The fact that Mako misses his Flash Zenith Blade is nasty. And then obviously the bot lane play happens at the same time. So 369 doesn't have ult, but he does have steel caps. And there's a decent amount of physical damage that comes out of Zedrani and stuff like this. I like how 369 actually puts the damage onto Ona, because it means that Zeus has to tank turret for the entire time. You can't really get turret shots onto Ona. Oh, that's a really juggled aggro. So hang on, what happens with Camille here? What happens with Camille? So Zeus cancels an auto or something? I think Zeus should be... If Zeus tanks here, I'm pretty sure they still kill, by the way. Oh, by the way, that's actually a really nice combo from Ona in terms of the initial damage. But Zeus just... I think Zeus kind of throws Ona a bit under the bus there. Yeah. So then 369 gets a kill. This is a decent response from Top Esports. Get themselves a decent response. They get themselves kill onto Rumble. And they get themselves a kill into Tristana. However, the early lanes should have gone a lot better. So they're not really that far ahead of the game, which kind of sucks. Zeus channels his recall. He manages to flash over the wall. That's a really nice smoke and mirrors from Zeus, so he doesn't give over an extra kill, which could have been a big problem. Because again, Top Esports are playing from behind where they really should have been from the early part of this draft. T1 though, their early topside plays gave them a decent amount to work around. Okay, so you still have multiple grubs being used by Guma to get plates. He got what, one on top lane, two in mid lane now, so he's completely happy with that. And we zoom in further forwards. Dragon up in 3 minutes, grubs up in a minute. Are we getting any rotations around from this? Yes, we are. 40 seconds is plenty of time to start walking up across the map. Misfortune very good at running across the map because of a W passive. Jungle supports both kind of teaming up to make sure that they have decent value. That's a really good chunk from Faker. Yeah, this is not even a turnaround from Cream. If he sidesteps the chains, maybe he can get a good trade back, but yeah, that kind of sucks, because you would like to be able to get some topside push. If you get topside push, that's kind of nice. What happened with mid lane here? Huh, So Cream doesn't get a good trade in topside. Faker manages to get a good chain last trade. No, he has Alternator to make the short trade a lot nicer as well. Jaculov doesn't get control over mid lane because Tien and Mako walk up through jungle. I wonder whether Mako should have stayed mid lane and they should have looked to contest mid lane harder. You do have both ults available. I don't think you want to give Goomer as easy push in mid lane there. Even though you might be afraid of Tien getting caught out, I actually think you need to secure mid lane push. So now you've lost top lane and mid lane push for the grubs. Means that easy start for the first one. You get 4 grubs off of that. And, I mean, Cream teleported back in anyway because he wanted to soak that top wave. Rumble teleporting here. Yeah, that's not great. I mean, you already push in that wave anyway, but I don't know. Burning both teleports for that is kind of crap. I think T1 getting a single grub for double teleport is completely fine here. You get 4 grubs overall. Very, very happy. Okay, so you have Locket on owner now. He's very ready to fight, can give some extra power through to whole team against the AoE damage of the Rumble ult and the Misfortune as well. Goom is almost on Collector. There used to be an old adage about Caitlyn being a trough champion where she's very, very good in early levels, and when she gets BF sword and stuff like that, sucks then from like once you're beyond 1 item until you get like 3, you need like 3 items at that point. That's not really true anymore with Collector build. Collector is such a powerful 1 item spike, and it tides you over to your 2nd and 3rd really, really nicely. So Caitlyn's a lot smoother scaling champion than she was in the past. That's something which I think is pretty nice. So now we get... So what's happening here? So we get the push in from 369, who teleported up to the play, went back down towards bot side. Still has an XP advantage over Zayas, actually. Again, you can see that the Rumbles are pretty decent into the Camille. It's just that the early levels, level 1 rather, just really didn't go well for 369. Zayas just I have to say, 369's level 1 laning has historically not been great for him. If you looked at how he played versus Adam last Worlds, even on JDG, he got soloed out by him, like, in early levels just because he didn't know what the hell was happening. 369's individual laning has been quite poor this year. So now we get Jaculov left behind the rotation a bit. Hang on, what's he doing here? Is he stopping for a honey fruit or something? What's Jaculov doing here? Why is he just standing next to this wall here? See, if everyone's dipped off of midwave. Okay. Tries to get the trap in place in time. So if Guma gets the trap... Thank you so much for following. Adamus, thanks to follow. So Jackie has to uses flash here, which is sucky as hell. By the way, just walking up in this kind of terrain is really, really nasty for Jackie, because you can Bard tunnel over here or something like that, or even closer in this kind of direction. Bard is very scary for a less mobile AD carry in River. Very, very scary. So then you lose your flash out of Jackie. I think that Carrier has been... I think Carrier and Owner have played very well. I think that Zeus has been... Zeus' level 1 really unlocks them to do so. But it's good to see T1 in this kind of form. We haven't seen them in this kind of form for a while, where every lane is contributing to a pretty solid game plan. You know, if you looked at their first game versus top esports, their engages weren't worth it. They weren't working very well off of that. And they would struggle to have that overall game plan working as cleanly as this. Hello, American sir. Hope you're doing well. Wanted to ask if it is safe to call them the BDS of LPL. Hang on a second. Top esports have been around longer than BDS have existed. What do you mean of that? BDS are the top esports of Europe. I'll have you know that top esports have dibs on that one. I didn't see it before. I did. Sorry, I'm focused on the VOD review, so yeah. Okay, so let me just check YouTube chat as well, see if there's anything in there. Okay. Wait, who did I pick for my pick'ems? Hang on, I picked the first two, right? I can't remember who I picked for my last ones, right? Hang on. You know, folks, I'm just breaking my flow here just for 1 second because I want to see what my pick'ems were. I do actually want to see them. I can't remember. Pick 'em. What did I do? What did I do? I know I picked the first two, right? Did I pick top esports or T1? I think I might have picked top esports. Yeah, I think I did that just because I was just going LPL Hopium. But yeah, I should have picked T1. That's my bad. I don't know why I voted that. And then Genji, well, I don't know. It'd be really funny if FlyQuest won. Anyway, damn. Okay, so T1... another thing which is really helpful here too. A lot of the things which I talked about this a load in my VOD review yesterday, right? When you're on red side, taking stuff around Baron Pit and stuff like that is really kind of problematic because this wall here and this wall here opens up like this quite thin choke point through you know, this kind of corridor, right, where you're kind of stuck in here trying to force your way into river, or you have to push in through mid lane. You know, the drawing, I think, makes enough sense there. You know, you get this hot spot in this kind of area here, which is kind of a pain. You can see that Guma, if he has to retreat, he has to retreat this way. But that's not true, because you have a Bard. Bard can give you a portal through the wall. Bard is so good at opening up extra terrain options, especially I think in a meta right now where I think that terrain really does affect the way that you go towards objectives. Really bad Daisy micro from Tien. Tien has very bad Daisy micro here. He walks up and he makes Daisy walk up and it loses all of his HP. That's really not good from Tien. You need that Daisy to buy you some extra space in the front line. 369's walked up towards the fight. This is a Hextech Rift, so it's easier to roam around as well. Cream is not at the fight. He's clearing away under turret. Mako's off of vision. Cleanse on Gumus, that's kind of hard. I mean, you can go on Carrier or Owner. They're harder to kill, but I suppose you do have Ignite and you do have double ultimates from your bot lane. You don't have Cream, though. And they catch Carrier, but it's right next to the wall, so he just hops over. He has the heal anyway. Thank you so much. Wok, thanks for welcome to the channel. So he just gets out fine, and Daisy doesn't get to be there following up for anything. Cream wasn't there either because he was clearing a wave just before this happened. Faker is on the side as well. He can potentially steal Leona ultimate if he really wanted to. Hang on, can he? No, he can't. He's actually used an ultimate already before this. You can see it's on cooldown. Oh, no, doesn't have to use his ultimate. He does now. Wait, what does he throw that? Oh, he uses it onto 369, and that gives a slow in the choke point as well. Zeus doesn't have to do anything either. So that's a Herald, and you can see how powerful Bard is at using his E to kind of create those terrain advantages, and Guma's completely safe. He's not the one that's hit. So top esports, not a great entrance to that either. Another thing which happens here too, another couple of things happen too, because you've had a wave pushed in here, you've left your bot lane alone a little bit too. Top esports have kind of converged. If you look on the minimap, they've kind of pulled everyone in towards this. They had all 5 people there, and it means that they're not farming waves. They drop off a little bit more. Faker is first back towards top lane. Zeus is first back towards bot lane. T1 already have the grubs as well, so every time they do get that slight advantage in towards lanes as well, that's very powerful. You can see that Faker overplays a bit versus Cream. I think he misses where Tien is, but I think basically Faker knows that if he takes a very good trade versus Cream, he can force onto a turret in topside. Doesn't quite work out for them, so that's not awesome. And once again, Bard E becomes very, very powerful against quite heavy engaged comps, as long as you don't get immediately blown up. I think if there's a lot of damage on the other team, Bard becomes very low use. You just get locked into a fight and you die horribly. But even after all this, Faker still gets himself another wave pushed in topside. Did he get to do anything more with that? No. So that's whatever. So bot lane is also, yeah, I mean, 369 is doing fine in terms of wave clear, but you know, T1 on the push and pull, forcing top esports to respond to a bunch of these waves, works out for them getting mid lane turret, and they start fishing for this play in top jungle. They see that Cream's coming down. They know he's not going to be in there in time to wave clear, so that goes down. You have level 11 on Faker, who does have first item. Q goes wide. Mako's very tanky. Ona has flash, big ultimate, but you have Locket. You know, this might be controversial, I suppose. I think that actually if 369 teleports in there, I don't think it actually helps top esports at all, and I think that Zeus manages to push in bot lane. I think that T1 can escape that anyway, so I wonder whether that teleport shouldn't have been cancelled, but maybe Zeus doesn't want to risk it, because it is still a level 11 rumble with Leandri, so maybe that's maybe they're a little worried about that. So T1 are reminded that if they do fail to get their first target, the combo is very good from top esports. However, top esports haven't really gotten all of the early gold that they would have liked. I think actually top esports, you know, I think that Tristan is behind really where it wants to be comparative to what should have happened in early game. You know, Tristan should be ahead of Sylas. If Sylas is even or ahead in a lane, something has gone wrong for you. I think that one of the reasons we're seeing a lot of Sylas is that teams have found ways to just get some gold from outside of the lane or use wave management well to make the most out of Sylas. We've seen that from Faker. We saw it a bit from Zeka. We saw it from Knight especially as well. So yeah, now we do have redemption coming in from top esports, from Ivern. T1, they would rather collect waves across the map. I think that's okay. top esports, once again, they just drop off all of their lanes and they get an objective, but they potentially lose some farm elsewhere. You can see that bot lane's not getting farmed now. Top lane was briefly not getting farmed as well. T1 farming more waves more effectively. And I think they're also getting the way across the map much more quickly as well, with Bard tunnels kind of helping out the team as well. Cream buff is out well, but still, I think T1 are not wrong to look for these plays. If they get it, it just means that top esports are just losing another wave of farm. Sometimes getting a kill for a kill's sake is completely fine, especially if there's no huge objective timer up. You know, Baron's not going to be taken at 20 minutes when you don't have something like a Zyra in the game. That's kind of not happening anymore. So just getting random kills to make sure that the other team is not farming all their waves is kind of important. So top esports finally managed to... So you can see what's happening here, right? Like, top esports... They're trying to play around a single lane. They're trying to push in towards top turret. They've left mid wave. They've left bot wave. They're trying to play around Redemption and 2-item spike on double AD carries. They're trying to just push in towards singular lanes, playing around less waves. They're dropping farm, but they're trying to force T1 to match them, because if T1 have to match to protect their turrets and wave clear something like this, they are playing away from their composition strengths. T1 doesn't really want a 5v5 at this point. They would much rather be playing big flanks. They'd much rather be playing on multiple waves. Now, they lose the turret here, but Faker's still farming in bot wave. So, yes, they lose the top lane turret. They trade for bot lane, but they also get to farm an extra lane at the same time. So I don't think this is bad for T1. They're still getting a decent amount. Top esports trading turret for turret, I don't think is awful. It's mainly losing the extra wave of farm, which is a bit meh. I think they lost an extra wave there. No, this series didn't have kills for kill's sake that often. You're absolutely right, Vid Student. You are correct. 2 items from Owner. You have Randuin's, which is really nice against the crit coming in from the double carries. Cosmic Drive from Faker is nasty as hell. You can see again, top esports once again, this is what top esports are really trying to force. So you can see how differently the teams are playing because of their compositions. The Ivern team is really trying to group up, summons Daisy here, playing on a single wave. You just want to push in everything in here, group up, use your big kind of grouped up fight prowess where you can kind of support your double AD carries. Whereas on the other side, Faker's pushing in a wave, so they're farming on 2 waves. This time they're not threatening a tower though, which is less valuable for T1 obviously. So if you lose the tower, that hurts. Good ult from Carrier to stop some of the damage coming through. Teleport in from Faker. What happens here? So a root lands onto Owner. 369 didn't want... Oh, fuck, dude. I don't know. So, for those of you that didn't catch that, just watch what happens here. Root hits. 369 flies in. Cream's still altered. Carrier might be able to get a wall stun. I know it doesn't stretch quite that far. Oh, for God's sake. The trap line here is also really nasty too, because the trap line here means that you have to walk in this direction to come out. You can't just immediately walk away and scatter, which means that you're now lined up for an AoE. If Faker ends up... Wait, Faker's not in yet, but if Faker ends up stealing Rumble ult, you can actually just line down an ult either like across here or across here, and it's... Oh, Jesus, 369. If you really want to commit, you just put your fucking equalizer in there. You don't throw your body into the play. So he immediately comes in. He gets ulted by Zest, because of course he would be. The turret's not dead. Dill comes through. I think that, oh, this, by the way, 369 almost killed Mako with this too, because Mako gets shoved away by the Camille ult. If this was a slightly different angle, that actually would have put Mako, instead of flying out this way, it would have flown out this way into the traps, and he would have got immediately CC'd by Caitlyn traps. Jackalov, what does Jackalov do here? Does Jackalov flash as well? What happens to Jackalov? Yes, oh my god, no! Fucking hell, 369! Oh my god, it's a great ult from Zest, but 369 by flashing here almost punts Leona into the traps. And Jaculov has to flash behind his own top laner trying to get away from the play, because otherwise he would have been put into the Sejuani ultimate and into Guma. So he has to flash behind his Rumble, so he gets punted backwards instead. All because 369 right-clicks on a target under turret to fly into melee with the Ivern route. Cream's hit by the Bard ult. There's not much you can do about it. He's split away from the clump. That's fine. You can see the Ivern value. You get the bushes through here. It does deny a little bit of... Now, the good thing here is the bushes end up, and the Redemption end up buying a lot of time here, but... What happens here? Did you get a big kill afterwards or anything like that? You get multiple ults coming through. It's a decent overlaying ultimates, but 369 completely sells his team. Make no mistake, folks. Make no mistakes. This is 369 completely selling his team. Oh my god, 369. That is the kind of play which loses you League of Legends. You know what? Let's we could even make... Folks, this is the kind of thing I can make a TikTok out of. Alright. This is the kind of clip you can make a TikTok out of. So, folks, this is how you lose League of Legends. I want you to watch very closely about what happens with our good friend 369 here. So, Ivern root hits Sejuani. They're rooted under turret. Now, you, as a melee character, will fly into your maximum auto attack range when the Ivern gets hit. When the Ivern hits the Q. 369 flies under turret. He doesn't want to be there. Gets immediately Camille ulted. He flashes because he panics. Now, what happens when other people besides you get hit by the Camille ult going onto you? They get pushed aside. Mako very nearly gets pushed into Camille traps. And 369's poor AD carry Jaculov has to flash over him to make sure that he gets punted backwards instead of under tower and into the enemy team. 369, by right-clicking, almost loses his team an incredibly huge fight. I cannot believe he almost sold his team his team like this. I cannot believe he almost sold his team like this. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, if you see that on TikTok at some point, you know, don't blame me. Guy's got to make a living. I don't even make anything off TikTok anyway. But that's an insanely poor team fight from 369. Yeah, they almost turned it around onto Owner, but imagine how good that would have been if, you know, you don't sell out your entire team. Yeah, that's rough. So they do get themselves mid lane turret. I think this is a really good response from Zeus, by the way. Just immediately flying off the fight. Does he use Hex Gates for this? What does he use? How does he get over to that side of the map so quickly? Oh, is that second mill trap? Sure, whatever. That's fine. All good. But yeah, I think that Zeus just immediately going towards topside, completely fine. Means that the turret trade is even, and you've traded an inner turret worth of gold for an outer turret. Yes, the outer turret is more important for map control, but inner turret is very powerful. Who won? T1 won 3-0. Error. So, Dragon's up in a minute. You have Hextech Rift to help you get back out onto the map, which is, of course, very powerful. Anything else here? Anything else that's worth noting? Get the trap line up. So T1, they kind of delay Top Esports getting back out onto the map to get a Caitlyn trap down. Top Esports now need to push in through mid lane because, look, you can't go through this trap line, right? When we talk about mid priority in Pro League, often what it means is that you get to push in through mid lane, and instead of walking through crappy choke points like this, or on the other side this, and then going into this trap point here, or from the other side, right? These are bad angles for a lot of games, right? If, however, you get to push up mid lane and the wave goes there, instead you get entrances through this bigger, wide open river entrance, especially with the wall changes coming into this year. It makes it even more important to get mid priority for a lot of fights. And when you're against Caitlyn, it's even more important because this is now a no-go zone. This is a no-go zone. You don't want to be here, especially with a bunch of champions like Leona, MF, Ivern, Rumble that cannot cross walls. They can't cheat across the champion, they can't cheat across the Caitlyn trap line by, you know, Vi queuing over here or LeBlanc Wing over the wall or something like that. I know I just drew a load of I drew a load of lines, which probably makes this like me. You know, that whole thing is like the whole conspiracy, so you're looking at the board behind. Anyway, I think that makes sense, right? Where a mid lane priority becomes very important. Because you've taken the mid lane turrets, it makes it easier for you to push the wave very far down into the other side of the lane as well, which is very important. That's why top esports, they don't want to deal with that Caitlyn trap line, but that's just an important thing to mention in any game of League of Legends most of the time. Just think about that as an important thing. So. Trap line's now worn off from Caitlyn. Wait, did it wear off or did they go through them? No, they wore off. Okay, that's fine. So top esports managed to get past the Caitlyn trap line. Top esports were... No, T1, they go into a side lane instead. They use theirs to push out top side. So 369 would have to come back in. Really bad Daisy micro again. Wait, so he scouts out with Daisy here. What happens with the Daisy micro? Because I really am not liking this Daisy micro. So that's okay. Puts the shield on them. Doesn't get that much. Then gets Sejuani Eden gets hit by a trap headshot, and you lose Daisy because just walks up too far. You shouldn't be wasting Daisy like that. It is really important. I think that Daisy micro is a very underrated thing about Ivern. Oh, by the way, this is just I know there's an important team fight going on. If Silas steals Ivern ult instead of Daisy. Do they cast Peach because their ultimate's in another castle? Is that a thing? Can that be a thing? I'm just... Okay, you know what? We'll bring that back to the drawing board. It's fine. You don't have to laugh. It's okay. Anyway, so top esports lose Daisy. That's a good bard ult. It gets them onto Soul Point as well. It's a Hextech Soul. You hear how much you enjoyed that? I enjoy the fact that you hated enjoying that. That's exactly the point of any good joke, right? Okay, so you have Goomer on an incredible power spike. Top esports did just see T1 use their big ultimates. Caitlyn is not great at walking into Fog of War. She prefers to play around her trap line and slowly retreating so she can occasionally get headshots and Qs and stuff like that. It's harder to do that when you're fast retreating. Oh my god, hang on. That Baron just did a ridiculous amount of damage to all of them. Do they just stack together for oh, Jesus. Yeah, they actually all stack up for Baron damage here. You don't need to have 3-4 people taking this, well, not 4, I guess, but you don't need 3 people taking this amount of damage. That is excessive. Mako's on the side here looking for someone to burst down. You still don't have flash on Ona, but he is still tanky as heck. And if he manages to get a Q midway through his combo, he can get his aftershock. You also have Bard as well. I mean, it's... Does Trap go onto Mako? Q hits onto Ona. Equalizer goes across 2. It's not awful. That's not a bad combo, and they kill Ona, but that trap... yeah, this is the thing. You don't go onto the Caitlyn. Caitlyn gets to do that slow retreat where you can put down traps, cast your Q and stuff like that, and you're at a 2-item spike, which is obviously very, very impactful. Good EOA from Goomer as well. If he gets hit by that Q, maybe stuff goes worse, but I guess Zayas is over the wall. I think he would clean up. So it ends up being 1 for none, but top esports lose the dragon, and they don't get themselves the Baron afterwards. Yeah, Baron does so much damage because Riot were tired of people doing 20-minute Barons and just kind of, yeah, closing games incredibly fast. So no objective up on bot side, so everything's around Baron control. Once again, top esports trying to play on less waves. Zayas really good trade under turret because you can. Yeah, hang on. This, you know, I'll share that in slow-mo. So this is a really fun Camille thing to do. So what you want to do is Camille, because most of your damage comes from your second cast of your Q, right? Your Q2. Q2 is very nice. So what he's done here is, I think he's just, yeah, he's ended up charging up his Q2, I think. He fires his E one way, so he fired it from there, walks this way, gets one last auto attack in, then the E connects to the wall and you can fly off. But as long as you get that auto attack in before the E flies off, you can get yourself, oh, it wasn't even Q2. That would have even been more damage if it was Q2. But you can do that to kind of like get yourself out of tower aggro and get a really good trade under tower. He's also, Zayas is also, he's learned to be very good at doing that on Yone. Initially, he wasn't actually very good at doing that on Yone. But it's something he's learned. With Yone, you just get an auto attack and press your second part of your E and you just fling yourself back out of tower and you get like one tower shot instead of 2 or 3, which obviously is a huge difference. LeBlanc can also do that with the blank back from W. Faker now has Seekers. Camille is taking down a bot lane turret. Top esports realize, well, this is kind of shit. We need to try and... Well, I don't know why they're doing this now, though. Why are you taking this fight now? Still don't have flash on 369. Mako doesn't have flash. Jackulov doesn't have flash for another little bit as well. All summoners besides Ona... Well, Ona and Zeus don't have flash too, but they have all their big ultimates. Are we really just flipping this? So Bard comes in to delay this so Camille ult can complete. Daisy gets no value again. You get the teleport out of Zeus. Faker steals the Rumble to get a 3-man slow. Redemption goes down. Zeus is still threatening. Goomer's now in range to start DPSing. Oh my god, this is just a shooting gallery for Goomer. Gets himself a headshot on there. The E gets himself out of the MFL as well. Zeus is in a great... Zeus is actually This is the perfect positioning for Camille, right? Zeus is threatening both your AD carries. Can potentially look for a cancel, can potentially dodge the Buster shot with their own ultimate, which is really, really painful. Even if top esports triple flash this way with Ivan and the 2 carries, I still think that Zeus reaches them with E flash ult. There's no way you're making it out of that. 369 hasn't used his ult yet. He uses it now. It clips 1. Gets Faker now. But, I mean, Zeus is in the backline and Carrier is too. What happens with Zeus, actually? So Zeus flies in. Gets a bunch of damage. Separates the fight out. Goes on to Jackulov. Carrier actually misses his... Carrier actually misses his Q flash. That's... Yeah. That fight ends there and then if he actually hits that. Doesn't matter. Faker has flash anyway. Top esports can't stand behind their front line long enough. Mako's not tanky enough. Tien's misused Daisy a bunch of times. Goomer's even flashing forward on Caitlyn. A rare sight, that. This was an awesome team fight from Zeus, though. I think Zeus' Camille has been absolutely insane. I'm really surprised he didn't play this more during summer. I think that Camille was very playable for a lot of summer. This might even be game. It's close to it. Very close to it. Maker comes back. I guess delays a little bit. They get the turret anyway. Hex gates allow them to get out of the base. Yeah, Jackie might have been able to clean up, so whatever. I also don't like the fact that Jackulov went for Essence Reaver instead of Infedge. I just feel like you need to be super bursty. I don't think that Essence Reaver allows you to stay out on the map with infinite mana sustain. It does give you crit. It's not the best damaging item, though. Top esports go back towards Baron, hoping for a better fight this time. They have even less summoners than they did before, but I guess there's no flashes on T1 now. But, I mean, T1 have spent all their gold. That's a fantastic Bard ult, 3 ult around there. They actually get the stun this time. Jackulov doesn't have flash. He can't reposition there. The Bard E as well. Wait, where's the Bard E coming through? Does he use it? Does he use it to get it? No, that's just Hexgate diff, actually. Level 16 GA on Zeus. Doesn't get his W, mistimes that slightly, but he locks him in place. And you don't have Jackulov for your damage now. Yeah, you've got an equalizer, but boohoo, who cares? Yeah, the Bard pick gets a huge amount of value. Cream is not in a position to do damage, neither is Jackulov. And, yeah. He can't really do damage when he only has 100 HP left. Funny, that. Yeah, I think that T1's approach to objectives has been much better than top esports. I think they've made top esports very desperate by pushing in multiple lanes at once with Faker and Zeus. And yeah, I don't know. Jackulov had a bit of a nightmare game. He didn't really get himself into any positions to do anything. I think that Tien, very quiet. I think that him and the rest of topside really failed at stopping Ona from walking in and disrupting his early path. I don't know. There isn't really anyone on top esports who's playing particularly well. Cream didn't really get to do much either. Yeah. And Tien's Daisy micro was really quite bad. Losing Daisy for free. Insult to injury, really. Okay. So you've got 1 turret left. Caitlyn's just sieging. Stolen Rumble ult. Walk up. You have GAs anyway. Game just ends. Yeah. You have Guardian Angel on Zeus. There's no way you're losing this. Yeah. And that's it. That's game 1 done. Okay. I'm going to take a quick brain break just so I can, I don't know, not completely burn myself out. So that's game 1. I'm just going to give myself a couple of minute break or something, and I'll be back very briefly. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, you'll be able to watch this on recording as well, because this will now be on. I'm making a playlist of these reviews I'm doing. Hopefully you get a little bit of extra knowledge out of this, because I hope that I can deliver that. And yeah, and you also get to see me suffer and watch my LPL team get absolutely ground to dust by T1. So anyway, I'm just going to give this a couple of minutes so I can just rest my brain for a quick second. I'm going to put an ad break on for those on Twitch. If you can drop a like, subscribe, follow, or whatever it is on various platforms, that would mean a lot to me. And I'll be back in just a few minutes. Oh yeah. Hey folks, we back. Let's go. Right, let's go. So, let's get on to game 2. Let's get on to game 2. So, what do you be that game 2? Here we go. Cool. Now, this one, I believe, was not very... is this game 2? Yeah, this is game 2. Cool. Alright. Let me change around my camera so it's not blocking out pics. And do we actually get... No, this is the video started partway through fucking draft again. At least this one's like, at least you get bits of it. I'm annoyed when it starts partway through draft. So we get Silas first pick this time. Sejuani banned on the other side. I don't get the Sejuani ban. That wasn't like the defining pick from T1 or anything. Yeah, Sejuani can give you some issues, but you're not even picking something like the Ivern again or anything like that. Same bans from T1. They don't give a damn. And this time Top Esports give over the Rumble because later in the draft they have a Galio into that pick. You do now have, as Top Esports, you have, Rel Galio, that's kind of fun. But and the top lane is pretty good matchup for him into Rumble as well. I also think 369, one of his specialties as a player is just being able to peel for his teammates, and Galio is one of the best peeling champions in the game. Of course, Faker made himself very famous. Well, made himself famous again in another way for him doing that in 2017 Worlds run. So Galio is a very special champion for a lot of Worlds people. Yeah, so Tier 1 ban away some of the answers which 369 has shown into Rumble before, because he's shown really good play on Renekton and Cassante, so he goes towards the Galio anyway. Sylas ends up getting a couple of pretty good ults out of this. Xin Zhao's also not a bad ult as well, because he makes you quite defensible, but the quickness is actually very, very good on Sylas, and has been in the past. Top will ban away some of the mid lane options into the Sylas as well, and we get the Viego last pick. I wonder whether that could have been something else. McKenna, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Is there anything else that I would have picked there in that spot? I mean, you could go for something like... Yeah, there's not much that's great here. You could go Maokai. Could go Maokai or something. Last picking jungle here. Would it be better to go... Hang on, would it actually be better to go Kindred here? I think you want higher damage, actually. I think you actually want higher damage. Yeah. I think you want... Viego is okay, but the problem is Viego into stuff like, you know, Rumble, who can go for Seekers and put down his ultimate. Rakan, who's very slippery or just permalocks you into the fight. The feathers from Xayah. And also, you know, Xin Zhao's pretty damn good into Viego as well, because he just kind of like immediately bursts him out. I don't like the Viego here. I thought we'd see more of it at Worlds, but this one's a little strange. No, I'm not doing the drafts completely blind. I did see all of this, but I'm just, you know, I'm pretty good at kind of reasoning things through anyway, even if I've seen the draft before. It's a last pick Ahri. Now, I said this on Twitter. I think that Ahri does have some good games to play against Sylas. I don't think that, you know, from the other quarterfinals, it really did seem like Ahri was just getting blasted every game. Why would you pick this champion? Blah, blah, blah. And, you know, there are some things which are less good about it, because now you've got, you know, the Galio, which can shield against your damage. Sylas can go a lot of MR against the double magic damage threats that you have as well now from Rumble. And then the Ahri. However, Ahri is very good in early lane versus Sylas. That's one thing. So if you stay ahead of the Sylas, the Ahri can really keep the Sylas down to a point where he can struggle to impact the game in the way that you would really like to. So that's kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for the Ahri to stay ahead of the Sylas. And also you have a really nice mid-jungle combination between the Viego and the Ahri. Not the Viego, the Xin Zhao and the Ahri. It's very, very good at level 3 onwards. So you're probably looking for... So Viego's probably going to struggle to fight for... early Scuttle Crabs if it does come down to that. You do probably have an early pushing lane in the Galio versus the Rumble. He does tend to do quite well in Rumble in the early levels. So, yeah. Ahri comes in. And it's also a good thing too, because Faker is very good at playing more engaged style Ahri. He's very good at using his HP as resource, jumping forwards, getting picks onto people, and allowing his teammates to get a lot of space. He's one of the better initiation Ahris, even if I don't think he's one of the better... Well, no, he is one of the better carry Ahris as well, but his specialty is engage on this pick, really. And I say that as an Ahri main. So, by the way, I have to say this every time that the Ahri comes up. For those of you who are not familiar with me, if you're watching this on... I don't know, if you're watching this from somewhere you don't know me, I am an Ahri main. I have like a couple of million points on the champion. And, yeah, I have a lot of knowledge about this champion. I played it for 10 years. In fact, I started playing League because I saw Faker playing Ahri at Season 3 Worlds. It's one of the reasons I started playing it. His Ahri was legendary in Season 3. He isn't... Yeah, I do have the $500 skin as well. Yeah, you can bully me about that. Yeah, true. Okay, so, are we getting lane swappy stuff? I don't think you have to. I think it's alright. I think that, yeah, the Rumble does suffer a little bit into Galio, but... Oh, by the way, this is, just for the record, folks, this is 369's first ever Galio game. He's never played this before in competitive history. I know it's not really been top lane viable for a while, but he's never played it before. So Cream ends up getting himself a ward at level 1, importantly here, by the way. So he gets himself a bit of extra XP, which means that he will hit level 2 at the end of the very first wave. Also managed to get himself a decent trade here. He also knows at this point, by the way, that he will get electrocuted because Faker will get that. So he turns back for an extra auto attack. So I actually think Cream takes a decent level 1 trade here. Though I will say, any sort of early trading between Sylas and Ahri tends to go Ahri's way. Ahri is just better at getting around to a second cooldown and stuff like that. Faker makes a small mistake there by using the W onto the minions. So he looks for the auto, but the problem is he does the auto, then Cream does a quick backstep, Faker does a quick backstep, which means that the W is then actually out of range to hit Cream. So small mistake there from Faker as he loses his W, and that means that Cream gets access to the wave a little bit more. Bot lane's going completely fine for Jackie Maker. Gets some decent damage here. Press the attack goes on to carry us. Sadly, the Q doesn't hit. If the Q hits, then obviously things are a bit different, but Rakana hitting the Q gives them some good sustain as well. But still, prio over bot lane has been reached. Tien's going from bot to top. For now, he's on bot side. That's okay. 369. Oh, there is one thing here as well. 369 forgot to take Shield Bash on Galio. One of the reasons why 369... one of the reasons why Galio was very good is a couple of things. So he went for Inspiration Secondary Runes. I care slightly less about that. However, by using Sudden Impact, which means that your E gives you extra damage on your next auto attack or next instance of damage, and then also Shield Bash, every time your W comes back up and your W refreshes, every time your little purple shield here refreshes, you get extra damage on your next trade. Now, what this means in this matchup is that you can go really ham when your W refreshes. You E forwards, you slam him with your passive, and you get both Shield Bash and you get Sudden Impact, and you get a ton of damage very, very early on. Also, if you then follow up with W channel and then Q, you'll get a second passive in that trade too. So Rumble just cannot deal with the value of your runes, and then once you get first, second items as well, you get enough resists to just kind of an HP to walk through things. Fake's trading well. He's hitting most of his Q parts. Crean's doing quite well to stop himself getting hit by Q return, but he's not getting that much damage on Faker. So as we can see, we have seen this before. Also, another thing too, I will mention this quickly again, just to get this through the early game. Faker did go for Scorch in his secondary runes. I do think that Ahri is meant to be played as a very lane-dominant champion right now, so I think that Scorch alongside Mana Flow really helps you get extra mana and extra damage for your early lane. Mana Flow means less as the game goes on, because you do get Lost Chapter item, most likely Malignance, and stuff like that later on, but for early game, having Scorch and Mana Flow just really helps you just do a lot of damage in lane. So yeah, good laning out of Faker so far, and 369 has taken the wrong runes. That's not a good sign out of his very first Galio of pro play, so that's not great. Yeah, and Zeus is also still, by the way, picking up farm. In fact, you can see that they are even-ish in farm, and I think there's an extra minion on the side of 369's wave pushing in, so it's not even like Zeus is... Yeah, so Zeus might even be ahead of in farm if he gets perfect farm. Mako's trying to maybe... Oops, use... No, I don't want to turn on filter keys. No. Did I just hold down shift for too long? Blech. I hate that sound. It's really weird. Anyway. Sorry for spooking people if there's sound. Faker now is in kill range of... not kill range right now, but he gets a really good electrocute trade here, and he gets Scorch and the Q return. So Cream needs to be really careful now. So Faker is... You need to charm him while he's on the... What? Faker's in a weird spot here, because he doesn't want to go melee range against Cream, because if he does, the W will probably heal him enough to the point where he can escape anyway, because Faker will run out of cooldowns. Faker has no Scorch, no Electrocute. Hits the Q. Cream E's out, so there's no possible... Because, like, to get the Q return, he'd have to, like, be over here, which obviously he can't do from this position now. If he hits that, auto W, yeah, probably kills. So now you've traded flash for flash. Cream gets to go. Cream goes back. Faker has a wave advantage because these minions will hold up the next wave, and it means that potentially Cream will be in a bit of a weird spot. Yeah, you can see that it doesn't quite full clear out the next wave. He just wants to make sure the minions are damaging each other, so Cream maybe misses one or two of them. But you have used both flashes, and in this case, because you're pre-6, Sylas gets the advantage here. Sylas gets the advantage, especially if it becomes a 2v2, because now Tien can flash onto Ahri, and then Cream can instantly follow up with E2. Whereas even if Ona flashes forward onto Cream, there's a chance he can E away from a play, which can be kind of nasty. Yes, Charm did get buffed. It's an AP ratio thing, though, and you don't have that much damage in the early game. It went up a decent amount, though, in terms of ratio, though. You're absolutely true. You're telling the truth, my friend. So this is doing fine. Just getting some extra farm throughs. I remember this being a really low kill game, so I'm just going to 2x speed this now. Bot lane's going completely fine for T1. Jason, thanks, or Ole. Thanks for the follow. You can see that TN is potentially looking for that flash stun onto Faker. They wouldn't be able to 100 to 0 though. So at least Cream manages to deny a couple of ranged minions away from Faker as he kind of holds the wave away from him. Faker does have teleport though. He'll get his first back in now. And Cream has to reset on the same wave because he doesn't want to be down combat stats as long as possible. So he gets back now. Faker gets himself Lost Chapter. Doesn't go towards Dark Seal. I really like getting Dark Seal on first back. I think it's really, really important. You have mana flow. You don't always need the Dark Seal. You don't need the Lost Chapter in the same way because you already have some mana sustain. He's been hitting a bunch of skills onto Cream. So that maybe Faker could have gone Dark Seal and it would have worked out better for him. Getting towards Grubs. Right. Let's have a think about this Grub setup. So we have both bot lanes roaming up towards this. No ults for AD carries or... Well, we have solo lane ultimates but nothing else. Galio's pushed in top lane wave. Does have level 6. Do we get much out of this? Smite goes down onto that one. Owner hasn't used his smite. Could he have smited this one? Oh, he wasn't in range to smite. That's why he walked out a little more. 3 kills in 20 minutes? Yeah. This might be a bit of a... This might be a 2x speedy one. We'll slow it down for some of the big moments, but yeah. So that's just a disengage on this one. T1 don't really aim for anything else. They get 1 grub. Yeah, I actually don't... If they'd managed to smite away the second one, I think this is fine. They don't really get what they were looking for from that, though, considering the fact that they have, you know, their early lanes are doing fine. I will say that Cream has still stayed up in XP. So Cream, even though he's taking bad trades and Faker's presenting him with some issues, he hasn't died. He is getting farm. Considering this is Cream's first ever Worlds, he's the least veteran player on the Rift. I think actually Cream's doing very well comparative to you know, where you'd expect a first-time Worlds player to be going. Dragon's up as well now, so we might see some fights over towards that. 369 has no teleport, neither does Guma. T1 are red side though, and when it comes to contesting Dragon, typically red side is better because they're not pinned against the pit when they're taking the objective, which is nice. So T1 get themselves Dragon, which is nice for them, and they also get 1 grub out of them. How long's this game again? Oh yeah, takes a little while. Just want to say you're a great caster and it hurts LPL not getting cast as a Worlds. Anyways, thank you. I really appreciate that, Jane. I really appreciate that. It's nice to hear support about that. It's one of the reasons I'm trying to do more YouTube stuff and like this too, because if I'm not going to be on broadcast, maybe at least I can provide something for you guys who do appreciate our insight. In other channels, you know, it's not going to get us the same amount of views elsewhere, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So now we get Tian looking towards Zeus here. He has a bit of HP from Haunting Guys. He has himself shield as well, because that's still there. Remember that 369 doesn't exactly have himself the biggest damage. He doesn't have shield bash or sudden impact. He doesn't have any AP because, I mean, ML gives you some damage. Cream roaming up to the play is good, but he doesn't have Ahri ultimate. If he had Ahri ult, this is fine. Because what you can do is you can Ariel up river and look towards getting an E2, which gets Tien into the play. So I think maybe... I don't know if Faker was playing keep away with the ultimate. He then sees Cream go up river. He gets himself into mid wave. Does he get a play off this? That's nice. If he gets play off this, then he actually gets himself a decent play. Yeah. Getting plates just keeps you slightly further ahead against the Silas. And as I said multiple times, Ahri really needs to be ahead of champions like Yone or Silas. You feel really bad when they get ahead of you. They can force your ult quite easily. Yes, your ult cooldown is quite low, which is one of the big differences between current Ahri and old Ahri. Malignance and Ult Hunter mean that compared to season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, all of that, those kind of years, Ahri is very happy to trade ult cooldown in some positions. Now, for instance, there were points in the past where Fizz, Zed... Who else? Fizz and Zed, Syndra sometimes too. They would have lower ult cooldowns, so they could trade ult into you and just kill you the next time it was up, whereas you have to play very respectfully until your ult came back up. Nowadays, it's much harder to do that with... it's much harder for enemies to really Hang on. Let's go. There are some really important stuff which happened here, actually. But yeah, anyway, that's one of the reasons why we see that being more. What the hell is Jackie doing here? What are you doing, my son? So you have jungle support coming up here. Why are you positioning here? My dude, there's like fog of war here. If you watch POV, this is all fog of war. My dude. Well, I mean... So, hey Sam, how's it going? So, we're getting second growth spawn coming up in 10 seconds. Mako's just walking up towards here, and he's just spotted here. But up until this point, this whole area was fog of war. This bit was fog of war. You know, it could have been... You actually don't know where Rakan is either, I don't think, so this could easily be Rakan too. The fact that it's Xin Zhao makes it that much worse. Why are you doing this? Like, so then and the feather pull?
He burns everything. Yep.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. Jaculov was rated as maybe the second best AD carry in the world at some points this year. Jaculov might be on track for a Dade award. His Callista game in Swiss, which I live viewed. Some of the other games I've seen from him. Jesus Christ, Jaculov. This is... Your jungle support just walked up into River to try and get some vision. And you've just lost all your HP, so all of the time they've just spent there is completely worth nothing. You've lost both your summoners. Also, another thing as well, Tien and Mako have to rush back into mid lane to defend Jaculov. That means that carry is completely unseen on this angle. He's dropped down wards as well.
I think he's very lucky not to die there as well. I think, I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure Ona had 3 Talon Strike up.
Yeah, so no,
so if Jackie hadn't flashed,
that's why he flashes early. So he flashes early because if Ona gets the auto attack here, he gets the knock up, and I think Jaculov might die.
Yeah,
it's really good damage early game. Oh, Jaculov, man. Yeah, I think actually Dade Award it's between Jaculov and Impact. The thing is though, like Impact, yeah, I think it's between Jaculov and Impact. You know what? That might turn up on a podcast. You know, next time I'm on a podcast, maybe we discuss who we think is Jaculov. Because there is a topic to be had here. Is Top Esports such a choke-heavy team that it is expected of them to do this? And therefore they are immune to the Dade award because choking is known as part of their playstyle. Does that factor in, or is it just this player is meant to be one of the best in the world, and they fall apart in important games or something like that?
I don't think you can let that go. I think the fact that it is a known thing is hilarious.
Carrier's been off of vision all this time, by the way. Yeah. This is so he has to back off of this. So he has to. 369 is pushing in top side. He gets to play off of top. Jaculov still gets to play from some range now, but Carrier still has. These are actually some good cues from Jaculov. He gets some value out of this.
Faker off efficient because that ward just went down. So I have no idea where he's in.
Yep. And Tian gets completely perma-charmed. I want you to watch what 369 does here. I want you to watch what 369 does here. So he walks up. He gets no value out of this. And he 369 goes here. Which is, incidentally, even though Carrier now has no abilities left... As you can see, in fact, my face is covering it, right? But you can see that... Oh, no, it's not. You can just see below the camera. Carrier now no longer has cooldowns left. Thanks to the follow by Zenith. Very cool. Welcome to the channel. The only way that 369 can get his ult cancelled now is if Carrier flashes on him, and he positions himself within flash range. His ultimate goes down. Mako, as he goes... Oh, my God. This is disaster from 369. Just stand a little bit further back.
Stand where he is now.
You don't have to position like this. You should be positioning for your ult. The magic damage shield is huge. Because, I mean, he's still probably... No, actually, I mean, with the extra CC, maybe there's a question of it. Maybe there's a question. But he stands in the only position he'll get his ult cancelled. Look, there's one feather there. He's maybe trying to avoid a Xayah feather pull for one feather which wouldn't root him. They don't get themselves the reset. You know, if you manage to save this, maybe... If you manage to save Tien, maybe he gets to ult or flash out and get a reset onto Ona or something like that. So Jaculov completely screws the pooch in the mid lane play beforehand, where he loses all of his HP. Faker's playing off of vision. This is a ward that was put down by Carrier earlier because they didn't know he was there. Faker gets a really good play here, and you know that he overkills. He has W. He has another auto attack. There's no cleanse on Jackie. Really well played. So keep track of this, folks. 369 has cast ult once this game, and it was cancelled. We all track whatever else he does here now. So this also means that top esports give over grubs. 369. I don't think he dies here. Yeah, he doesn't die, but it's still whatever. So top esports, they failed to make the combo happen. I feel really bad for Mako in this fight actually, because I think that Mako actually gets a decent clump. Because Mako tries to stop the engage coming through, and he managed to get a couple of people in here. Jackaloff has no HP to play this. He can't really do shit here because he has to play at Q range. He can't walk up into the feathers. He would die immediately. What does Cream do in this fight? So Cream's teleporting in as... Wait, he teleports in actually as the charm comes through. I think that's predictive. I think that's him saying like, oh, I need to be there. That's not him reacting to the charm. He was going to do that anyway. Comes in, immediately steals Rakan ult.
Gets 4 people with the charm.
Cream actually does fine. Yeah. Cream actually does okay here. If you get the magic damage, if you get the magic shield through from 369, why does he position like that? But I will have to say as well, though, I mean, it's really good. Most of this play, because I know I've been talking about this from the top esports perspective. I'm an LPL caster, and I'm. This is the last time I get to review them for this year, folks. Really awesome play from vision control from both owner and carrier. You know, carrier manages to find this topside ward to get himself an option, which forces TN into a weird spot. This kind of push and pull allows Faker to get off of vision. Owner gets himself into fog of war before this to chunk out Jackaloff too. I really think that owner and carrier are playing a very good series. And you can see that Faker is using that platform built up by owner and carrier very well too. So this was a super solid game from again, like the trio mid jungle support, which is typically your macro engine for a team. Really good charm out of Fog of War. Great charm through, a great kind of follow up through from carrier, who adds in a little bit of extra damage.
Legitimately, carrier cleans the ward out of that bush probably 2 seconds before Faker gets to walk up, so they think the bush is still empty, and Faker's just there in that split window where they've got no idea.
Cream could have gotten Rumble ult. Quickness is actually a lot of damage, and it's a lot of good CC. I actually think Quickness is better there. He gets a 4-man charm. That's not on Cream. I think that's completely fine. That's not the worst ult he could have got. Now, 30 seconds till Dragon. It's a blue side Dragon for top esports. They don't have Galio ult just yet. You're pretty okay at crossing walls, so you're not as worried about blue side dragons as you were in the last game when you had stuff like the Ivern, which couldn't cross walls that easily too. At least Viego can use this ult if things get really hairy. Dragon being started, should just be a clean kill. Nothing really gotten here. And we move out the map. Okay. So I'm pretty sure the game slows down horrifically beyond this point. So T1 instead choose to give gold over to Faker. Okay, so folks, remember what I said at the start of the game? Ari needs to stay ahead of Silas. 201 Malignance and Sork Boots. This is very, very powerful. Again, I would really suggest you go Dark Seal on Ari. I think that Dark Seal and Medjai's is the best item that Ari can have. She's a very safe snowballing champion, really fits into a playstyle. Cream does good here to make sure that Faker loses his ultimate. However, another thing which I will point out here quickly before pressing play again, Faker is 2-0-1. You will notice that there are 3 kills total, and they're all onto different people. So Faker, because he is running Ultimate Hunter, gets what? 6 ability haste per stack of Ult Hunter, which is an extra 18. I think you get base 5 off of it or something like that. Or is it 5 and then 6? Either way, he's getting about an extra 20 ult haste from Ultimate Hunter at this point, something around that 20 to 25, and then also has an extra 30 ult haste from Malignance on top of 2, so he had 20 from the base item. Malignance gives you 50 ult haste as a single item. You will get an extra 20 to 30 from Ultimate Hunter. So Faker now has basically an extra 80 ability haste. So that's almost 50% cool. It'll be about 40% cooldown or something like that on the ultimate. Rank 1, that takes it from about 120 down to, I don't know, I want to say 80 something seconds, I think it is. I think it's about 80 something. I seem to remember it goes, I think it went from 120 down to 89 seconds on just Malignance from memory. I think he'll have like an 80 second ultimate now, so he's completely fine. He is so happy with that's going. He's going for Phoenix Codex, which can build into a bunch of different stuff. By the way, I would have potentially suggested he went Liandry's this game, because there are a lot of HP builders. Or Lichbane. I think he goes for Horizon Focus in this game, but still, that's whatever. Also, again, this Amp Tome could also be a Dark Seal as well. So anyway, quick thing here, we get Cleanse blown off of Guma, who's... Wait, what happens here? Not really sure he should be the one positioning in that brush, but hey. So they get Cleanse out of him, whatever. Cool, 6 space, and then, cool, yeah. This is 5 per stack, I got it the wrong way around, I thought it was 6 per stack initially, but yes. Anyway, Faker has lots of ults, that's the big thing. His ult is up very, very quickly now. And now he's at rank 2, the cooldown goes from like 120 down to... Is it 110 or 105 now? They actually changed that this season. But it goes down like 15 seconds per rank, 20 seconds per rank. So now Faker's ult is probably on more like a 60-second cooldown. So, yeah. Anyway, Faker is very, very happy. And again, like, he just casts his ultimate to make sure that there's no snap engage from Mako coming through. The reason I mention this is just the extra gold from Faker allows him to play very, very defensively, but not lose that much. You ult like this, you will recall, you'll go down towards bot side. Look, let's think about the next time that Faker could possibly use his ult aggressively, and let's just see if he has his ult back up, because he has that kind of cooldown. So Herald gets summoned in mid lane. What? Why is Jaculov the one using this? So Herald comes in mid lane. Toppy is also trying to use the fact that Ariel is down. He turns around because, what? He's afraid of Feather Pull from Xayah? I mean, surely Mako should take this. Why does Jaculov take that? Does he misclick? I think he must misclick. Daddy Award! Daddy Award! Daddy Award! Daddy Award! 369 gets caught in the play. He might even die for this. Jesus, man. A Faker peels off the play, and he doesn't have to come. So I guess there would have been a window there if they charge into mid lane turret, and maybe there's a chance that the ult would have just been down, but yeah. Faker uses his ult again, but he has it back up. It doesn't matter. He has a bunch of ability haste. It really doesn't matter. CD is now 67 seconds? Yeah, I thought it was a little bit around that. I thought it was slightly higher than that. I thought it was around like 70 to 80, but yeah, about that. But yes, Ariel, low cooldown now, which means that Faker gets to farm very safely against Sylas. In the past, where your ult haste was less available, even in the Everfrost era, you would have much harder time getting out ult down to like this kind of cooldown. You have really, really good cooldown now. Very, very good cooldown. Okay, Dragon up in 20 seconds. Once again, Faker will have his ult back up. Cream, what ult is he stealing next? He takes the quickness. He doesn't have the R ult for this one. 369 has his ult available. He has no Riftmaker, worth noting. Jaculov has no 2 items just yet. 40 stream streak from Angie. Hey, how's it going? Great to see you. How you doing, my love? Okay, so Cream has quickness. You can see that. Faker. Wait, what did Faker get on this last recall? Does he get anything for this? No, he gets himself Alternator. Okay, all right. So he is going towards Horizon Focus. Again, I think that Lichbane or Liandry's are both kind of important in their own way. Horizon Focus is a cheap item spike, and it can get you a very good 2-item spike, but whatever. So top piece was look to burst down Dragon. And by the way, notice one thing here. So, 369 gets one person with his ultimate. This is the only person he will hit with his ultimate the entire game. Now, he was also ulting Xin Zhao, so it means nothing. Could Faker have done something better, though? Was there anything better? So he has one last thing left. Gets his ult damage down. No, that's fine. He gets 2 people with his Q. That's completely fine for him. He could Charm Flash. 369 has no Flash. And even then... So Mako gets a... This is actually a bit of a blue side Dragon diff. Because... Hang on, what happens to Mako? So he has Flash and he has his full combo. Carrier gets caught in, but it's not like Guma gets caught in anyway. This is really bad from 369, right? Again, so 369 gets his initial ult in. This time he actually gets his ult for once. But then look at this taunt. The taunt does nothing. He gets no one back here. Guma outspaces his taunt. He gets rooted anyway. The damage reduction means nothing. He misses his Q. He flashes out, even though he's dead anyway. There's no way he's making it out of this fight. That flash is completely useless. So 369, all he ends up doing is... all he ends up doing is knocking up and ulting Xin Zhao. That's it. Yeah, look how useless this combo is. Also, I don't mind this equalizer from Zeus. It just means that Tien can't walk forwards and look for an initial kill. I don't mind it, it's whatever. Also means that Ezreal can't stand in that kind of pocket either. But just once again, the defensive combo from top esports is really not working, and 369 is just not... He thinks he's playing Cassante, he's not. He's playing Galio. They are, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't like the way he's used his taunt. I don't like the way that he's threatened onto carries. Yeah. Also, I do think that Zyra is one of the best anti-Galio champions in the game, because Galio could struggle to reach her, and if you ever misuse your kit, she turns around and kills you, and you never really have the damage to one-shot her, so you need to be playing very, very well with your combos. So Galio into Zyra is already hard, but I think that 369 is misplaying it quite hard. Oh yeah, another ult hunter stack for Faker. Yep, that's true, another ult hunter stack, so it's even lower cooldown. And he has a full Horizon focus as well, so that one has also added more ult cooldown. So now, even though Cream has done quite a good job of forcing ult out of Ahri, Faker's doing that, just saying that, well, I'm not going to die. All I need to do is not die. I'm powerful enough to impact these fights, and my ult is not on a long enough cooldown to do anything. So right here, Faker uses ult. It doesn't matter. Again, this doesn't matter. Faker's ult's going to go on cooldown now, you know, we'll see it up. We'll see it up in the next time it's actually valuable for anything. Faker gets a recall, goes straight back out onto the map, and yeah, his ult is just basically there already. Also worth noting as well that Ahri's ult starts from the first cast, not the last cast, which means that you have 15 seconds of it being active at first, I believe, and then 10 seconds for every kill afterwards. It resets the time, or 10 seconds after your last kill with it. And yeah, that means that you... And yeah, his ult is available again already. So you even get to take basically 10-15 seconds off of the ult cooldown because you're using it while it's technically on cooldown. Black Cleaver built up for Ona. That's... So Carrier gets stunned. Charm does some decent damage. Aftershock's gone from Mako as a Celestial opposition, so that's some of his tankiness gone. Dragon's up in a minute. Okay, so because of that, oh yeah, hang on. There's another big thing here as well. So I was paying attention to a message. So another big thing here, just look at the vision control, which is established from here. We already said that Mako is less tanky. By the way, I actually think Faker is not because that Q goes through the bush, I think Jackie Love thinks it's empty. Faker positions really aggressively, but he knows he has flash and ult. He doesn't have to care. Yeah, that's really close. That's really, really close. Sometimes you expect someone to react very quickly to it. I think because Mako is really tilted, he's not going to backstep. So if you read the body language of a player, this happens with a lot of skill shot champions. If you think they're either really tilted or really confident, they will just walk through your skill shot. If you think that they're kind of like just misjudging things, they'll do a small backstep. But on the whole, if I'm Faker here, I aim just in front of where he's going. Like just in front of where he's going. Because I don't think that he's gonna like backstep from that kind of angle weirdly, just because I think Mako's a bit tilted. I think top esports are a bit tilted. Whoopsies, I have just minimized things. Okay, anyway, misses that, but Mako is now, he's still not got the health to contest this now, and he's not like a Warmog's Rel, which we saw earlier in the split. But really good use of Fog of War again from Faker to get value before a team fight. Last time it led to the kill of Tien around Grubs. This time it leads to something big here. Now, Jekyll does actually land some decent poke onto a Faker here, if I remember right. Maybe not. Anyway. Okay, not this time. It's another fight. So Stolen Equalizer comes out. I don't know why the hell they go for that. Did Cream steal it beforehand? Why does he steal Equalizer here? What value does he get out of this? Does he want them to not... Oh, I guess he maybe thinks that they're all going to go through that choke point and tries to do it, like, very quickly. Forces Alpha out from Faker, but again, a Faker does not care. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. His ult is on such a low cooldown that it is decorative. It's decorative at this point. No, by the end of his cast, which ended at 2450, it's going to be up at, what, you know, like 2540 or something, or 2550 or something like this point. He doesn't care. 91 ultimate haste? Yeah. Oh, I massively undershot it, actually, yeah. 2533, it's back up. So Faker has ult again. He can literally use his ult on cooldown if he wants. Now, the one problem with this build, because he's gone for the Horizon Focus, is you do 0 damage to Galio. Galio does not take damage from you now, so it's not a great side lane matchup, which is why I did suggest maybe the Leandries for that. However, Faker is doing so much damage to the rest of the team, I don't mind him going for Horizon Focus if he's going for this. It is a cheap burst item. I do think that Lich Bane is better in some decent cases. I think that Faker has played the Lich Bane Ahri quite well when I've seen it as well. Hey, Yoda, good to see you. Anything else? Guma is going for this build where he goes for Flicker Blades a little later, so he gets a bit more AD built up. Cream and Mako go on to Carrier, but doesn't do that much. There's no follow-up damage. Charm misses from Faker. He probably, yeah, he actually is a little bit greedy with his ult, but again, he's just using his ult very defensively. He has a million ult haste, and he's using it well on the whole. Misuses his charm, though, and Jackie actually takes a decent opportunity to take a chunk out of him. They still lose their turret, though, which is not great. Equalize to clear the wave. Top Esports can't respond to anything. Top Esports have a pushing Galio, but Galio can't overextend, because Galio dies if anyone else enters his lane. Thanks to follow, appreciate it. Was I happy with the Faker Ahri? Yeah, I am. And look, I have to say, look, Faker is not always going to be the snowball carry Ahri. I think this year he has been. I do think that all Ahri should be building Dark Seal, but Faker's playing his pockets really well. I think that he's trading very well. He's being respectful with his ultimate. He has a bunch of ability haste, so he doesn't have to care about wasting the cooldown in important moments. I think that the Void Staff here is nice because there's, 3, soon to be 4 Merc Treads coming through. And the Hollow Radiance as well. It means that now you're actually a threat against Galio again to a certain extent. So yeah, the Faker is at a huge spike. Huge spike. And it's also a very cheap spike comparative. Void Staff's quite cheap, and Horizon Focus is the cheapest second item as well. Jackie will get some decent poke here on 2 items. Yeah, I remember this build from live. Heal comes through just to make sure that Guma doesn't get any random poke onto him. So Top Esports are trying to win this push and pull in mid lane, but they just can't get any meaningful damage down. And every time they're kind of playing around Fog of War, I feel like T1 get a win out of this. And T1, look, T1 are playing disciplined. They're playing disciplined. They haven't given up any kills to a Viego reset comp. They're getting themselves a lot of presence around objectives. They are outranged by Ezreal, so Ezreal does cause some issues. But yeah, this is a 3-item Xayah. You have load of objective damage. You get yourself Fog of War again. Faker has 3 items, and even though Mako has some magic resist, it doesn't matter when you are against the 3-item Ahri and you're a level 9 support. Really good pick out of Fog of War. Once again, T1 vision control is massive for them. That's not. Yeah, I think that last Q there means that the fight ends, because Faker would otherwise ult forward and look for a Charm Flash maybe. This maybe would have killed, but I think Faker has Flash anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, sadly, the slow from the Rumble ults, stolen by Silas, doesn't lead to anything more. So it ends up being a 1 for none. But again, it's just, the vision control is really annoying. And one last thing I'll say about this. A lot of people will say, oh, but it's just a kill onto a support. If you do not have Rel active in this composition, Top Esports have Ezreal poke, and that's kind of it. So it's not very and the other thing as well is that if we were just saying T1 are winning through vision control, what? Who does your vision control? Your support. If you lose, I think in terms of the most important people you can kill, is AD carry, then jungler, then whatever carries. So like in terms of a team fight potential, yes, it goes down like that. However, if you get a free kill onto a support, the amount you get in the run-up to an objective is really, really important. I think whenever Rel has been meta, you will notice people blowing a lot of things onto Rel just because if she loses HP, she's not a useful champion. So Mako just full-on dying here is a huge problem. And yeah, T1 just get free entrance over towards Baron now. Hide around vision. Again, Carrier sidesteps everything here. Splits up the team fight.
Everybody with this charm.
Also, I'm just going to point this out too. 369 has a very bad taunt here. Once again, he has ult. You should be aiming to get yourself a big ult to buy some space here. He walks up. He completely misjudges his W. He pops it. Guma outsteps him because he has enough movement speed to just walk back from it.
Image, baby.
How the heck does Jacklove get hit by this too? Does he get charmed here or what?
It's Flash.
He cleanses out. Ono walks into it as well, so he just completely nukes him. 369 gets no one with his taunt. Hang on, let's have a look at what 369 does in total here. Hits no one with his taunt. He Zhonya's. Gets hit by a charm. And dies. 369 does 0 damage. He hits no one with any of his abilities. He doesn't get his ultimate cast, and he does absolutely nothing dying for free. He's trying to play Galio as though it's Cassante, and it's not the same champion. If you have Cassante W in that spot, yes, very threatening. It is not the same as Galio W. Galio W needs to be much closer range, and you can use it to combo into other people, but you need something else as follow-up there. Where is your follow-up at this spot? I mean, you have Cream maybe, but he doesn't have an ult really ready to do anything here. This is really poorly played by 369, which is a real shame. Because once you have that, there's no extra magic damage shield. I also want to point out that Cream here as well. He steals the Shinsao ult, goes into melee range, looks for a bit of burst, but he's then melee range for the feather pullback from Gumayusi.
So
he just completely blasts himself by going melee range, and he has flash. He could have played for a second.
He tries to knock Guma out of the Shinsao ult range, and the E comes through in time, I think, from Guma. So he's autoing Ona. There's the knockaway, and it's not enough.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. So Cream misplays the fight. I think 369 has a criminal fight. And yeah, also the other thing is, of course, you didn't have Mako at the start of this fight. He wasn't there for vision control. And yeah, T1 get themselves a Baron off that. Masterful use of vision control. And also helped by the fact that 369 has an awful team fight.
And again, I feel like Jackie's in somewhat... don't get me wrong.
Okay. Jakulov getting inted by his whole team. I think Jakulov is on the shortlist for Dade Award. Yeah, he had an awful game.
Another fight where he's down playing the fight at 10% HP.
So let's have a look at Jakulov's positioning, actually, on this replay, actually. Because he walks up here, misses 1Q. He shouldn't be here. He should be over the wall. He positions very poorly in this fight, too. Because realistically, he should be positioning here this whole time. Because he's kind of desperate, he walks up into this box here, but that puts him in range of like 4 different people aiming at him. I actually think Jakulov is within Dade Award territory. He had an awful, awful series and many awful games in this tournament.
Unfortunately true. Right, I'm going to go cast some Supervive.
Okay, you enjoy that.
I'll see you later. I hope the takeaways are good. I'm going to be changing codes for the evening, so I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah. I think that Jakulov had an awful tournament. Do you think Top East play worse in this best of 5 than G2 did versus BLG in a best of 3? Yeah, absolutely. I think that, yeah. I think Top Esports played very, very poorly in the elimination matches. It is worth noting, folks, Top Esports have lost 4 knockout games, series in a row this year. LPL Spring Playoffs, MSI against G2, Summer Playoffs versus Weibo 2-3, and then World Tier against T1. They are 1-4 across the year in elimination series. No, that wasn't a knockout game in Dun. That was in the upper bracket. In terms of the knockout games, they lost. So they won against JDG in the lower bracket of LPL Spring, and then they lost finals. And you know, this is just a victory lap for T1. They are so far ahead. You have a ridiculous amount of damage coming in from multiple sources. You don't have flash on Jakulov. 369 is caught out. What is he doing here, actually? He's walking up with a sweeper. I just don't think he realizes that Galio needs to start the fight from behind the front line, ult in, and then be front line. But then 369 walking up to... Wait. So what does he do? Does he put down a control ward here? Does he not E immediately? So no, he doesn't. He taunts, he doesn't flash. Baits his whole team into a choke point. Flashes into an equal... He flashes into the equalizer! What does Jakulov do here as well? Misses a couple of Qs. Doesn't position around his front line again. Gets blasted by Faker. Then puts himself into the choke point against the equalizer because he doesn't have that. Doesn't have flash and he dies. He should not be positioning like that with regards to his front line. Oh, Jesus. Look, I actually think that Jakulov is not the worst player on his team. I think that's 369. I think that in order... Oh, look, we'll go through it with the game 3 as well. But I think in this game, I think it's quite clearly 369 is having the worst game. I think you could argue Cream or Mako have... Well, even Mako's not been fantastic, right? I think it's 369, then Jakulov, then the other 3 in whatever order you want. They didn't exactly do anything much themselves. I can't believe that 369 baits his team into a choke point versus a rumble and then flashes himself into the equalizer. I can't believe that. That is historically bad. That is a historically bad performance. Oh, 369. I can't believe that, man. I mean, yeah. He could maybe even, you know, worst case scenario, what, flash here, ult back in onto someone? He flashes onto the equalizer! Yeah, no, Faker chooses a really good angle here. However, Jaculov should never be positioned. He's seen on... Jaculov sees him on the wave. He knows he's here. He's on the wave. Why are you playing in that spot? You know they're coming over that wall. Great chance. You know, Faker's just got to line up there. There's going to be someone who gets hit. But why is Jaculov positioning there? Why? Of all places. What a disgraceful team fight from Top Esports. What a disgraceful game. I'm sorry, that's the only way to describe it. I followed this team, you know, for the entirety of this year. They were meant to be a top 2 team in the LPL, and they were regionally, even though they fell apart, you know, in those elimination matches. I think they grew an awful lot. For grand majority of summer, they were probably the best team in the league. But this is historically bad for them. And look, I'm saying this as an LPL caster. I'm sure a lot of people are here to watch T1 as well. Give me my moment to mourn my team, which has been demolished by T1 on a rampage. I think that T1 played very well around vision control. I think they played massively well around picking off people out of position and making sure that Top Esports never got the kind of fight where they wanted, where they were peeling back under a Galliol or something like that. They got the picks on the front line and they just managed to churn through people for free, picking off people out of position. Really well played, particularly by Faker using Fog of War, which was set up by Owner and Carrier. But Jesus, man. Wow. Wow. Okay, right. I am, just like last game, I'm going to go get myself I'm just going to take a quick break, and I'm going to get myself another cup of coffee. So you guys hang tight. I'm going to run some ads on Twitch, and then we'll be back to it. So, yeah. I can't believe he flashed into the equalizer, man. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, be right back, folks. Okay, folks, sorry about that. It took a little while. I need to somehow cleanse the flash into the equalizer out of my brain. I'm just good. Yeah, okay, right. Shall we get into this game, folks? Hang on, let me crack open a cold one with the folks. Yeah. Shall we not get into game 3? Yeah, sorry, Top Esports fans. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry for the long break, folks, but hopefully you're ready to get back into it just like me. So, draft again. Is this in order? I think it is. This is in order. So, Top Esports on blue side banned Rumble as their third ban now. Instead of going towards Sejuani in game 2, Vi in game 1. This last ban has really caused them issues. They first picked the Sylas. The same bans come through from T1 on red side the whole time. They're very happy to let the 3 S tier picks go down, even on red side. And we then see Galio be locked in, like, immediately. So I think Zayas just says, well, look, 369, your laning has been poor on an individual level. Nah eats people with bad laning phase or bad laning and side lanes for breakfast. That will be a win condition. And then Galio is a good answer into the Sylas. And this allows you to play very heavily around side lanes if you want. You can play towards Galio. You do see that the Shinsao comes through, and that does raise some issues for T1. It's a strong mid-jungle combo. I actually would have preferred Sejuani here, you know. I think that Sejuani Sylas is a very strong combo. Very good tank frontline. It punishes someone like Galio in the early game. They go towards the Kai'Sa, which is... it's okay, I guess. You're probably... are you lane swapping with this? You might be lane swapping with this. You could actually lock in a different top laner and then say, okay, well, you've got the Gnar. We'll lane swap on the Gnar. We'll try and pick something that's good in a lane swap. T1 banned the Jax, maybe thinking that would have came out because it is a good lane swap champion. They locked the Xayah as well, which means that... I think it's when they see the... you know, this is a triple melee first 3. So this is a separate train of thought. However, when you see the triple melee, Xayah comes out on 3. They lock in the anti-dash Poppy on 4. I will say the one thing which kind of... and then obviously see the cannon. The cannon... it ends up being an AD cannon, which makes a lot more sense in this draft. It does do quite well into Gnar as an individual matchup. However, now that's the case. Oops. Now that's the case. I think the problem is, I think beforehand, you could have lane swapped on the Gnar, got your Kai'Sa out of a lane, and then you can, yeah, and something like that. Kennen does not want to lane swap. He is awful in lane swaps. You could have maybe gone for, you know, I mean, what else could you have gone for? I mean, yeah, you could have Cassandra maybe. Cassandra might have been okay. And then the Pike comes in last pick. But now the problem is, T1 are very happy to lane swap on you. Thank you for the follow. The Rel band's pretty good too, for sure. So the Galio is not... so the one thing which I'll say about T1 is that it is quite a low damage comp and it's quite early game skewed to an extent. Unless you're winning very, very hard through side lane, you can't necessarily do that well against the cannon. Okay. So we need to watch out for lane swaps. That's one big thing. Are they going to show us the runes? Did they show us the runes? You shall see here, by the way, folks. Take frickin' Shield Bash on Galio. Even though Demolish is a really good feel-good rune. And Galio is quite good at using Shield Bash if you ever get access to... Demolish if you get access to that. Shield Bash is a very good thing. What is top esports style and how does that fit that well with the comp they've chosen? They don't just... yeah, the magic shield does count as Shield Bash. Yes, it does. So, top esports don't exactly have any one style. They're actually quite a versatile team. You know, they were playing stuff like double AD carriers with Ivan. They were playing melee synergies with Sejuani Yone. They were playing heavy tanks. This is a great level 1 from carrier to just delay this swap coming through, or delay this coming through. So top esports see the... what happens here? Do they see the swap coming through? So they put a ward on their own blue side. Yeah, look, top esports are a versatile team, but yeah. Okay, so you see the lane swap coming through. You push in for an early invade because that is, you know, you want to clear through the enemy side of the jungle. Keria flips the blue buff over the wall, though, which means that when do they actually end up starting the camp? When do they start at the camp? It should have been at 1:30. They end up losing 10 seconds on their clear. It already takes quite a long time to kill an enemy jungle camp because counter-jungling is slower than clearing camps in your own jungle. So now Tien is about 10 seconds behind his clear. That's a problem because in early game clears, every second counts for this kind of thing, to turn up to a dive, to defend someone on weak side if you want to do that as well. 369 gets a tiny bit of XP from mid lane and ends up soaking in bot side, but you can see that Zeus is getting more out of this on the whole. He's getting slightly more XP. Yeah, no, T1 are just winning in terms of XP. Because they're sharing 2-man XP across the place. What are the main ultimates Sylas wants to steal this game? So, if you get... that's a really good question, by the way. I will answer this. This is a good one. So, the biggest one you can get is Gnar ultimate. However, if you get yourself a really good early game fight, Pyke ultimate is one of the best Sylas ults in the game if you are cleaning up fights. If you get resets on it, it gets you all of the gold from it as well. In fact, there is a fight in top lane which comes up in the early game, which I do think that Cream might have been able to use Pyke ult instead of looking for like a peak Gnar ult, but if you get a really good Pyke ult, it gives you the gold, which is insane. Outside of that, I think that Gnar ult is almost always the best. There are some cases where Galio ult is better as a defensive ultimate, though. However, I think particularly in this game, because you have a decent amount of magic damage between Kennen even as on hit / AD, and then Kai'Sa who goes can like the half build. You probably do want to go Gnar ult because it gives you some physical damage, but yeah. No Poppy for objective control. The Poppy ult can be occasionally good for that sense too, but I think on the whole, you need damage. You need damage to cut through this team. Yeah, I think that the Gnar ult just gives so much disruption. It can also be disengage as well. You're just better at using Gnar ult than Gnar because you don't need a Mega Gnar bar. This is really nice from Karen. Oh, so this is a direct response to... So we did see that Tien went towards boss side. How did Tien's clear go, actually? Because his slowing down on the first clear doesn't mean that much. Because he doesn't... Does he stick around anything on the wave here? Does he taste Gromp? No. So actually, starting blue buff late doesn't do that much. It doesn't do that much. Because I was wondering if anything changes there. So any clears from bot to bot through bot side jungle. I'm just watching the minimap as this happens. Yeah, but on the whole, I would say Gnar ult is by far the best ultimate you can steal. I think there are some very cool uses for Pyke ult if you get a really snowbally fight. Because also, if you take a fight before Pyke is level 6 and you get his ult, you get his ult, obviously. Yeah, this was a sad series for him, for sure. Okay, so you have Maiko is still at level 2. He's behind an XP as well. Owner is level 3 Poppy, as I like to call it, full build Poppy. And then you get, I mean, it is Tail Blades Pyke with Ignite. Ooh, Is he afraid that Poppy walks back in and gets another rotation on him or something? He gets the flash back, at least. Because Tien is also there, and you have a level 4 Shinzao who is nasty as hell. Thanks, Ananda. Good to see you. Yeah, I've started doing some more VOD reviews again, and I figured I've been slacking this year with VOD reviews. I've been doing more streaming, but less VOD reviews, and I figured more people might want to watch this. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. So, now we get... Oh, is this the crazy combo? So you get Cream walking up beyond his minions. He gets taunted. Faker has shield bash, so he does get that, and wait, does he get the shield damage? Either way, Faker just completely slaps him with Carrier there as well, using instantly light. So Cream is now behind the Galio. That's a problem. Sylas is okay versus Galio in a 1v1. You often don't kill the Galio because he will just walk out of a play in time, but with Conqueror and W, you both kind of nullify each other, but it means that Sylas and Galio then play for their own team fight value, right? But Faker getting ahead of the curve and getting to early magic resist is not nice, really. Faker teleports back in. Only gets the smite on the first one. Nice little drag back. There's 2-to-1 in that. So you have the AD cannon. However, look, you do have an XP disadvantage now on the cannon. And you didn't get to bully out the cannon early, so you're behind a little bit in terms of gold and a decent amount in terms of levels. So 369 with the AD cannon doesn't really get to be a lane bully in the way that you'd like to be, which is kind of sad. See ya, Kaiser. And that's another hook into a taunt, which is very, very painful. Kerry and Faker twinning up the waves very well. Means that actually you get a demolish on tower, which is kind of insane. Also worth noting that Pyke has just really high base damages and on his Q and stuff like that. So his Q is actually a decent poke for a support, especially in the early game. It gets less and less valuable as the game goes on, but still, yeah. Kind of nasty. Faker gets himself... Wait, does he get himself into the plate? Yeah, he's got himself 2 plates off of mid lane. Galio should not be getting plates. Galio should never be getting plates. Really good combo between Faker and Carrier. But also, I do think that this is that kind of game where... Hang on, let's slow this down. Tien has been silent. Absolutely silent. He might have been silenced, so, you know, Tion did a good job of keeping him down, but Tien has done nothing in this series. You know, the Ivan was okay at some points. It had some value, but the Viego did nothing, and this Shinzo has done nothing on the first clear. Just watched Mako burn flash in front of him. And now we get this play. What happens here? So, Poppy doesn't get the wall stun. Mako uses everything. You get the Galio ult first in, but that's whatever. Jackalov does have ult, so does Guma. That hook over the wall is disgusting. You probably shouldn't walk up that far. That's just someone who's not played against Pyke that much. You never walk up like that. You never want to get chance getting hooked over the wall like that. That's, yeah, because he would have got wall stun and died. That was insane. Cream comes in now, and this is the point. This is the point. Cream, I think, should actually take Pyke ult here. If he takes Pyke ult, if you can take Pyke ult here, he can assassinate Owner and get the extra gold out of it and get a reset. And then you play it a little bit slow. Yeah, I think you should go for Carrier's ult. He goes for Gnar instead, when Zeus is still massively full on his Gnar bar. And he gets the wall stun before they get to do anything. Great flash taunt from Faker. They don't get to use the stolen Gnar ult. Cream, I think, completely screws the pooch on this play. I think that's Cream. So Tien, you know, Tien wastes his flash. Where was Tien? Tien doesn't even join them in the play. Fuck it, hell, man. Just, yeah, I think you can kill Owner with the Pyke ult. And then outside of that, and maybe you get one more after, maybe. You can keep them under tower, maybe, with Shin Sao Ws and stuff like that. You might be able to corral them into that. But that should have been a winning play for top esports. Absolutely. You don't have the Galio anymore. You can use the Pyke ult. It is an execute. It goes straight through, you know, what Faker wants to use in his, wants to use with his magic resist and his magic shields and stuff. Owner loses grand majority of his HP here. Yeah, Cream should 100%... He doesn't get a chance to steal it right now. But he should be able to steal Pyke ult in this play. And then just immediately try and, like... Maybe, like, flash auto ult Poppy or something like that. Wait for Poppy to use their flash. And then ult after them. I think Cream makes a big mistake, though. And now you've got a Galio against you with 1,000 gold lead. 2-0-1. Yeah. Rough. Yeah, and Cream can't do shit versus Galio now. Yeah, you know, I think eventually Silas could still kill Galio, but you're never clearing waves. Ever. You see that Carrier manages to force Cream from out of turret, which means, do they get another play off this, in fact? Yeah, they get a demolish on here, which means that Pyke gets gold too. Pyke is good with gold. Pyke is good. Pyke snowballs quite well with gold. Can we switch to Weibo to another side, please? LPL versus LCK semi would be more hype. I want to see guaranteed LCK LPL finals, though. I think finals would be better for that. Guma's doing some decent damage already. I do think that... So, the bonus of having something like an Essence Reaver is that it keeps you on the map longer, and you also have a color cache in as well. I will say, though, I prefer going towards an Infedge, like, quicker in your build. So, actually, Guma's done a different build here. He goes to the Essence Reaver into Infedge and goes Flicker Blades a bit later. I actually don't mind that, because you get a bunch of AD from that build. Yeah, the crit and AD is really nice. Yeah, Weibo T1 finals? Yeah, hell yeah. Like, I'm just happy there's a guaranteed LPL team in finals. I think that having one region finals kind of sucks. Look, you should have the best teams in finals anyway. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have that. And if the two best teams are Chinese or the two best teams are Korean, they should be the teams in finals. But yeah, I think on the whole, it is better if you have multi-region finals on the whole. Okay, really good coming. Yeah. 369 can't play the fucking game. He's on. Wait, what happens? What even happens in the setup here? So I was yapping about other stuff. Silas has teleport. He can make it to the other side of it if he wants. Mid lane's being pushed in, so top is what's kind of want to be hovering mid, so Mako's there. Clearing from top. I mean, Tien is clearing his wolves. He might have been able to run towards his other camps. You have Silas to teleport in. You know what? I think Tien pathed really quite conservatively this game. He was kind of just AFK farming a lot of this game. He wasn't, giving up the huge kills and stuff. And I guess his lanes were kind of inting too, but Tien was also really behind the play every single time. Okay, stolen Mega Gnar. I mean, that's nice from Carrier. Really nice from Carrier. And that forces the flash, which means there's no flash Mega Gnar turnaround or something like that. 1,000 gold lead for the Gnar over the cannons. The cannon's not really a lane counter anymore. Jackie blows cleanse because he paths quite greedily back towards mid lane. Another really weird play from Jackie. The two best teams at NA? Yeah, how could I forget? How could I forget that the two best teams are actually North American teams? That'll be most likely an MSI rematch? Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Oh, so now we get a bit of an overplay from T1. So remember, T1, the grand majority of their damage is from Guma. Guma's not on the map right now, and they're... Yeah, let's not take this play while Guma's on recall. Not bad from Faker. He can get the taunt here, flash over. But also, like... if Guma is sat with that pocket, it's fine. Let's not do that while Guma's in base. Let's not do that. What happens here, then? So now Guma is here at the play, but you're on a 4v5. So that's a really good flashback from... really good E-back from Cream. Does it matter? I mean, yeah, Zeus doesn't get much done. Tien also has a really good ult to make sure there's nothing really working there. Jackal good E. Guma has to use his ult here, presumably. Yeah. Oh, hook onto Jack. That's... Yeah. Even losing Jackie at the end of that sucks. Really good. That was really nice from Carry, by the way. So for those of you that don't know, you need to hit an enemy champion to get the blink off of your ult. Jackie has flash. So Carry, what he does, he uses Halo Blades. Ults to make sure he extends his... He dashes forwards a little bit, which means he can get the guaranteed E-stun. Guma flashes forward as well. I have to say, I wonder whether Guma flashing is a mistake, because most of T1's damage comes through Guma, and Guma kind of needs to have flash to flash forwards aggressively. Zyra is not good at following aggressive plays, especially when you don't have someone like Rakan to kind of activate your W early for the extra move speed. Nice Gnarl from Cream. What supports are known for Spike? Hillisang. Beryl played a bit of it. Carrier is known for it. Chris played a bit of it. Life, FPX, Dark Dam and Life, they would play Pike bot lanes. They play like Ash Pike and stuff like that. But not many teams right now. But yeah, Hillisang is like the big Pike guy I can remember. And so the other folks who are really good at Pike, everyone on G2 Esports in 2019. We had Wonder playing Pike top lane, probably the most famous Pike games of all time. You had Yankos playing it in jungle at that point because all of your abilities would affect AoE target camps. You could clear through everything very quickly. Caps would play Pike mid, and you could play it in both roles in bot lane. Yeah. Same with Yasuo. Like, everyone played Yasuo and Pike on that team. They just, like, flexed it around the map. Very fun. And that was when Perks was bot lane. Yeah. So that was before the era of Hans Sammer, the recent era. 2019 G2 was such a fun team. Very, very fun team. The EDG quarters curse struck again this year? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Mako and Scout both out. Oh, and Viper too. Yeah. True. All of the EDG members at Worlds have now, yeah, they've all lost there. Damn. Okay, so T1, they do have big items coming up on Guma right now. You do have Cannon who can still push waves pretty okay. And Jackie has Shiv, so it's harder for T1. And T1 do still have grand majority melee team, which is quite hard for them to siege down turrets. And they don't have great duelists with individual threat. They need to group up to threaten people. So as long as top esports are kind of like being quite disciplined about going across the map, they should be able to stall this out a little bit longer. They need to be careful around objective timers. Carrier, hang on a second. I actually think Tien makes a mistake here. I think Tien makes a mistake. Because he could get knock up onto Carrier, who has Umbral Glaive, by the way. The extra gold on Pike really helps when you get stuff like Umbral Glaive and Edge of Night. It's really important items. So Tien has his knock up. Yeah, he could have just got the knock up on... If he gets the knock up on Carrier, they probably perma-CC that, by the way. So that's a mistake from Tien. He should just get the... He should just get the knock up. Just E auto, you kill him. Probably. Even with Flash, I think Carrier dies. Because then you have immediate follow-up from Mako. He has not enough tenacity to survive that. So that's a shame. Tien either not expecting it or just not reacting. Mako somehow doesn't get stunned by Pike. 2 items in for both Faker and Guma. That's nasty as heck. And this is exactly what should have happened around blue buff. Carrier should have known... Look, Carrier should have known better here, folks. He needs to get the hell out immediately. Yeah, he should just immediately E, actually. So he gets completely blitzed. This is the problem with playing Pike past 20 minutes. You immediately die to any sort of hard CC. If that E lands onto Guma, maybe he has to cleanse ult. So that's kind of sad that it misses for Cream. This is the problem with playing Pike. Pike is... It needs to get such an overwhelming lead... in the early game. Otherwise, effectively, he's just a ranged minion. He occasionally gets some fun vision control because he can get over walls and move around the map very quickly, but he is very, very squishy. Teleport from Faker doesn't really do that much. Maybe trying to catch that 369. But even then, I don't even know if they could do that much. Jekyll didn't have ult, I suppose, so there's no way he could work that. Yeah, I don't mind them looking for it, but Top Esports responded quite well. Top Esports on the whole have been quite disciplined. The TP was overkill. I think what it does is mean that Top Esports just can't run rampant over the bot side of the map in time for Dragon. Because Faker teleported in just before, it means that bot lane hasn't been pushed out by 369. Which means that you don't have all of the entries to this fight covered. Carrier needs to be really careful, man. If he gets hit by anything, he will die. So that's a wall stun onto the cannon. Galliwall is... Oh, there's stolen Galliwall? Oh, and then he channels it too close to Faker, who gets like a 3-man taunt. Or is that even a 4-man taunt, technically? Did it? No, it wasn't, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Faker cancels the stolen Galliwall. He's in tanky as balls. Tien does get to use his ultimate to just reset the fight very briefly. So they get Dragon and they lose 1. T1 might be able to go towards Baron just because, I mean, you've just used everything on Top Esports. That should just be Baron for free, right? I would think that should be Baron for free. So Top Esports, they have some vision on it. They try and fake doing damage to Baron because Guma just goes off of vision. He kills the ward and then you pull it goes back. Taunt lands onto Mako, who doesn't have flash. So that's Dedge. And the Pike gets the kill as well. Carrier doesn't get a stun through. I wonder whether Carrier could have looked for a stun onto Tien. Cream uses the stolen Gnarl. Does some decent damage. But look at Guma just putting us so many goddamn feathers. Yeah, and 369 is just too late to do much. So, Ona dies, which does... Yeah, I mean, losing your jungler kind of sucks. Galliwall to buy a little bit of time. Could he have just ulted further back with us? Yeah, he should have ulted onto Carrier instead. That's just a bit of a misclick. Because he shouldn't have died there. And then Jackie eats a hook because... Wait, does Jackie misplay this? Carrier just holds his hook. This feels bad. Does he... Wait, when does he flash? So when does Jackie flash, actually? How does Jackie play this fight? Hovers towards the backside, back of the pack, gets a W on there. Walks into the queue. Luckily doesn't get the feather pull. He's kind of stood in the feathers, which kind of sucks. Has to flash away from the Gnar ult. I mean, it's not bad if you pull people out of position. That's not the worst flash ever. The W is really poorly timed. If he hits the W, he doesn't need to care, and then he just gets blitzed. So, if he just times the ult better, that helps. The ult is, yeah, it's not worth dying for the Galio there. You need to stay alive. 369 is doing nothing in these team fights either. Do I foresee changes for the top esports roster after this? I wonder whether 369 retires at this point. He's had some really disappointing years. He did talk about it at one point in time. I think 369 was wondering whether he's going to retire even coming into this year, I think. So, he's been around for a while. So I don't know whether top lane changes. I don't know. Not sure. Carries back out on the map. Doesn't have Edge of Night yet, which does really affect the way you play the game. Is Zoom coming back? Isn't he a coach right now? Isn't Zoom a coach? I think he is. Blue buff steal. That blast cone from Jakilov is criminal offensive side. What is he doing here? Does he mean to hit this? Oh no, it is actually Maker that does that. But it puts Jakilov back, huh? Surely there's got to be some communication there, though. So Maker flies into the Poppy W from the Poppy ult. No, the Blast Cone. That one. Guma's at 3 items. T1 don't have the best damage now. And one thing which T1 can really struggle with is, because 369 is AD cannon, he can kind of ult with Shinsao, and both of them just kind of stand their ground and auto-attack instead, and they kill the front line. Zaya's not high enough range to really do much about that. You have 3 items in... Jakilov recalls for 3... Wait, is he seen recalling? Is he seen recalling here? He really wants to get his 3 item recall. So he backs off. He recalls. T1 know the fact... Well, they probably have been tracking his gold somewhat. They should know that he's recalling at some point because he wants the 3 items. But that means he's not on the map for Baron. Baron goes down. Really nice wall stun onto Mako. But, wait, does it matter? He's still pretty tanky. But look at this. They don't actually have that much damage unless... Carrier misses his Q ult. He could have maybe flash Q ulted. Galliot's not awesome. Top Eastals might look for something now because a lot of the big ults are now down for T1. Stolen Gnarl's kind of spooky, but there's no flash and cream to use it really. Dragon's up in a minute, so T1 take... Yeah, they take Baron and out. They don't get their clean pick. But you can definitely see that unless Guma is hitting someone, T1 lack damage quite a lot. There was a Hoopu comment calling 369 LPL Doran. He's gifted a few wins over to LCK if you're talking about it in that sense, but yeah. Look, I do think, well, 369 dismantled Kingen. Absolutely dismantled him. Which, you know, that was good at least, but yeah. Look, 369's individual laning has been some of his worst ever this year. And then the thing which really surprised me is that his team fighting in this series, which has typically been his biggest strength, has been very poor. Very poor. So, hang on, teleport coming in. How does Guma get caught here? So he's Poppy with it. Is Guma just clearing a ward or something? What happens here? I think Guma's clearing a ward. Yeah, he was clearing a ward in River. He's walking it with Poppy. Carrier's shown on bot side, as is Faker. Faker has teleport, obviously Carrier doesn't. And then Owner and Guma just split a little too far. Yeah, Tien manages to catch Guma against a really good wall here. There's a teleport from Cream, who has Gnarl. Owner's caught out. Yeah, Owner and Guma just really space weirdly here. Carrier's not at the play. They know that. They know that Galio could be in range. Owner only buys a little bit of time, so Cream gets 1. Guma losing flash and ult is kind of nasty, though. Because, again, reminder, T1 can't really do much damage without Guma being most obvious. So even though top esports are really far behind, Guma needs to really be the core of everything T1 do. And losing flash means that you can't really win, like, the game-ending decisive fight until that flash comes back up, really. It's not as easy to, anyway. Guma has Hex Drinker now, makes it much harder for Jakilov or Cream to get on top of him. Even 369, you get some magic damage on hit from the Wit and your base damage is pretty nasty. Guma, reminder, does not have flash. How does he take so much damage, though? Hey, wait, he takes tower aggro. He takes 3 turret shots, and then... Guma! Guma, Guma, eh. Guma, Guma, eh. Guma, 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 eh. Anyway, he takes 3 tower shots, and almost dies, so... Great stuff, Guma. Right, Edge of Night for Carrier, that's a really big item for him. Taking the inner turret with the Baron buff actually fuels him towards that, so that's kind of nice for him. He's a bunch of gold up as an individual support. Once again, carrot. So then you get inner turret for inner turret. When top esports are this far behind in gold, it is worth it for top esports to trade gold for gold. Thanks, Kiwi. I'm glad that I can just make some really, really cringe references every so often, and I know that you're listening. More Malmortius for Guma makes it again harder to secure kills on him. Would have almost preferred a QSS just to have double cleanse value because, you know, there's a bunch of things which can deal with that. But I suppose if you've got cleanse and more, it means that Kai'Sa, you have better use against Kai'Sa this way. Better use against Kai'Sa this way. Three items for Faker. 3 items for Zeus. 369 is sadly not in a great spot himself. Okay, so you have Guma's Flash going back up. T1 should be looking to force a fight around Guma's Flash where he can just like shred everyone with you know, late game Xayah. Okay. So Carrier loses his shield. Carrier does need to be careful because the Pike doesn't offer that much now besides some intricate ward placement. Baron gets started. Guma's in river. Doesn't have that much sustain work. No, he has a Vam Scepter now, so he's okay. Okay. Galio just goes outside of the pit. But like, okay, so you have everything up for Guma. Let's see how he uses it. Mako gets pulled in front of him. Stun doesn't land. Feather pullback. Oh, fuck. Cream goes in. Doesn't see the feathers. And he gets rooted. Cream. So they peel back on... So, okay. So Faker ends up getting... Faker doesn't play this that well, actually. Does he have flash at this point? Oh, he shouldn't have gone for that E then. Yeah, that's not a good back knock-up, actually. He gets hit by the 3 Talon Strike, which is still on there. Cream managed to get out with his own flash. T1 kind of maybe split too far onto Cream. Guma still has all of his summers, though. So, look, Faker goes down. It's a bit of a split call from top esports. They react a little bit poorly to Cream getting hit by the root. Teleporting from top esports, you want to try and take something here. But you still have flash on Guma with almost full build. This whole game is literally just... oh, this is super dangerous from Carrier, by the way. Carrier's trying to do these weird warding angles. Guma needs to be in range to do damage. If you get split, top esports will actually kill you. Even from this kind of gold deficit. They're, you know, a bunch of gold down. So if Carrier gets spotted here, you know, you get, like, immediately Q Zenith bladed by Mako, and then you die. So, yeah. I really think Carrier's playing with fire here. And then if you get Q Zenith blade, then Pike gets Kai'Sa ulted, immediately dies. Your Kai'Sa is gone. Your ward bot is gone. Okay, so the dragon comes up. Dragon gets shredded. T1 don't want to play with that Faker because he has teleport and he's up in a few seconds. Thank you, Kiwi. I appreciate it. Thank you. You have Crit Bloom for Jaculov. Means you get the extra cooldown on your W. When you hit people with it, it is nasty. If you get the double hit, it shreds someone, obviously, because you activate your passive. Okay, so yeah, this game is just waiting for the next use of Guma's flash. If Guma has to flash defensively, it delays the game. If you can flash aggressively and kill people, the game ends. Because he has ridiculous damage at this point. Yeah, you do have a late game Kai'Sa, and again, doing really good damage here. You see that, again, Pike is really not happy with dealing with this. When will I upload the VODs on YouTube? So this is being streamed on YouTube right now. So if you go to a playlist which I have there, or you go to my live videos, you'll be able to see them there immediately. So that will be up there already. There are already 2 VOD reviews up there already, and then this will be there. Well, it's there currently, really. Oh yeah. So, as we were saying, we're kind of waiting to see the next time that Guma gets to do something aggressively. There's no Baron up here. Why are we positioning like this? Mega gets hit. He doesn't have flash. And he's just not tanky enough at this point now. Guma gets to play within Poppy W. Fucking hell, man. It's like, look at this, right? This is awesome. Look at how Guma just knows he has all of the time in the world to play like this. He knows he dodges out on the... it's bad positioning from Mako. There's no reason to walk up like this from top esports. So you are just delaying the game until something big happens. Immediately Guma dies. Guma is stood within owner's W, so no one can dash on top of him. And just look at this, man. It's just instant death. That's it. That's the game. That's instant death. All you needed was one good aggressive fight from Guma. He manages to get himself into a really good position. Top esports overstep, and that's it. That's game. That's it. Guma didn't die a single time this entire series. Yes, correct call out there. Yes. And I've been focusing a lot on the top esports side of things because obviously I followed them for most of the year. But yeah, Guma played very, very safely. He played a very good anti-dive champion, and he did a really good job of it. So, that was us going over top esports versus T1. So yeah, let me just check on the YouTube chat and see if there's anything there. And yeah, okay, so folks, hang on. I noticed top esports was getting easily tilted too. Once they lost a game, it just snowballs and their gameplay is affected. Like, what the hell? So, folks, important to note in this series, I predicted, even though top esports looked better in the Swiss stage, that T1 would probably beat them. Top esports are a very mentally fragile team. It doesn't matter that some of them can have good games in these situations. You know, 369 obviously had a huge tilt moment. In MSI, he was very good against G2. He was the one player who played well in that series. TN, he played okay today, I suppose. It wasn't great, but it was whatever. He played very poorly in Spring Finals and around MSI when they lost against G2 as well, even though he played well in Summer. I think that Cream is the one person who was, like, I guess, slightly better on that front. He's less veteran, though, and he's less impactful on the team when he's on form as well. Jakulov, I think, had an awful Worlds. I actually think Jakulov has qualified himself for a Dade award. I think that a lot of people were considering him best Chinese AD carry coming into Worlds and across the year, and he ended up being dreadful in this series. Dreadful on a Kalista game or two as well. A lot of the time, his team was succeeding in spite of him. And I think that even Mako... Look, Mako is another world champion, the most recent world champion from the LPL. He had some awful games throughout MSI and Spring Finals was Mako falling apart. Same with MSI. Again, he looked slightly better around Summer, but he looked very bad versus Weibo. This team was fantastic in regular season and LPL, and they fell apart in elimination games. They are now across 2024 1-4 in elimination series. They lost to BLG in Spring Finals. They lost to MSI. They lost at MSI to G2 0-3. They lost in Summer Finals, Summer lower bracket finals. They didn't even make it to finals because they lost 2-3 to Weibo. And then they lost to T1 here at Worlds as well, 0-3. I think that top esports, this roster, for me, has maybe run its course now. I don't know how you fix this kind of chemistry. It's very, very difficult. Anyway, folks, I'm going to leave it there. So, yeah, thanks everyone for joining me. I'm going to leave this on YouTube, so this will be in a YouTube playlist. I hope you enjoy. I will keep trying to do this as much as possible. I know I haven't done the LNG Weibo series yet. I will try and do that. Maybe I'll do that on a day between quarterfinals and semifinals. We'll see. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to stop the YouTube video now.